reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for the first ever award show. We're going to do a 2025 award show. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of great awards to give out. We're going to have some chat interaction. We're going to let you guys decide on some of these awards as well. I think we got 16 awards to give out. 2025 was a very eventful year. A lot of stuff went down. We got a lot to talk about, but it's been a while, Uncle Weezy. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on stream together. How has your couple weeks off been? And are you looking forward to the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of putting a cap on this year and talking about all the good things, all the bad things, all the funny things, all the corruption. We had another fixed fight this year, that was just out and wide open, so it's been a very interesting year to break down, and we've never done this before. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, but I'm telling you, you're not getting Uncle Weezy tonight. You're getting Drunkle Weezy. Got a triple IPA here with over 10% alcohol by volume, Brady. I'm going to get lathered up tonight. We're going to have some fun talking some fights, some fighters, and enjoy a great year in 2025 with our chat, our phenomenal support that we've gotten from this wide audience that we get to talk to every week.
Yeah, everybody pour a beverage. Like I said, I hate the one-uppy weed. I know you got the 10.5%. I have the White Claw. Hate the one-up you, but it's blackberry.
That's delicious, man. That's delicious, dude. We're gonna have some fun tonight. It's gonna be a good award show here.
It's going to be good as indeed. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, let's get these likes up. Subscribe to the channel. I've been doing some content, over the off week. You're probably
I was like, you're fucking out of your mind.
Yeah, you're like, what is this guy doing? I've actually lost subscribers doing extra content, so maybe I should stop. I lost like 15 subscribers doing extra content. What's wrong with you people? That's hilarious. But no, I've been keeping busy, doing some extra content. And this is something I've had circled for a couple weeks. This award show, it's not going to be your typical award show, fighter of the year, best fight of the year. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into some good stuff here. So if you guys are watching on X, don't be afraid to hit the retweet. I know we got a good game going on. We got the Rams-Falcons. Looked like it was going to be a blowout. Ended up not being a blowout. I think it's a pretty close game right now. I did win a fantasy championship, 1 out of 3, which, all you need is one. All you need is one. I needed Bijan Robinson to get 0.7 points, and he has like 35. So very happy with how fantasy played out. And yeah, it was kind of in front of a frustrating year. I had Lamar Jackson's punk ass, had Justin Jefferson's punk ass, a lot of punk asses this year, but ended up winning at least one championship. We got Dan from Half the Battle. What is up, Dan? I know Dan's another guy that did a nice award show, I believe, with Andrew Gombis. If you guys have not checked his out, go check out Dan's award show there. We got Beat Fanatic, 1987, 2026. We're going to milk these bookies dry. Let's milk them. Let's milk them. Got Elijah one in the building. What is up? Got the Wiki Feat of the Year. I can't wait to see. You got a lot of awards to give out. A lot of awards to give out. We got Fight Fiend Forecast. What is up? What is up? Got the Upstanding Citizen of the Year award. We got some fun awards to give out. We got Dixon. I almost did a Dixon Cider OnlyFans of the Year award, but that one didn't make the cut. There were a couple that didn't make the cut. That wasn't one of them, unfortunately, Dixon. He says, OMG, Brady and Weezy, my New Year's miracle happened. I'd been sitting in the dark with no power, heat, or water because of a downed electrical pole outside since 2 p.m. Thank God we just got power back. Yeah, goodness. Good thing you did, Dixon. Glad you got power back just in time for the Stat Diggers 2025 award show. We got Daniel Forrest. Happy New Year's, Brother Brady and Uncle Weezy. Don't forget to pipe up the like button and subscribe. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Forrest. And we are going to talk about the on-site piping of the year, courtesy of Colin G. And then who had the comment of the year? I don't know. Lots of great comments this year. I'd have to go back and kind of, sort through them. But there was a lot of good comments, whether they were from longtime supporters like yourself or maybe some weirdos and troll. Yeah, there's some good comments. It's hard to maybe pick one. We got Mutombo. My aunt of the year is Mizuki Inoue for sending Jacqueline Emery to work at McDonald's. Yeah, I got to give big ups to Mizuki Inoue. Great performance. I can't wait to see her in 2031. In about 5 more years. Can't wait to see her get back in there. Lucky bet that went your way this year. Volkov versus Almeida. That fight gave me AIDS. Fight gave me absolute AIDS. We got Mr. Kaffa, 87 with the $20 dono. Appreciate you, Mr. Kaffa. He says, Wheezy, please explain what breeder quality is to young Brady and how it's a compliment and not a weird. It's not weird when a nice farmer from DeKalb, Illinois calls you that. I really irked me when Brady brought it up on comment of the week. So yeah, this guy said I was breeder quality.
Okay, so look, that's not something you usually call men, right? But in DeKalb, Illinois, Brady, this is a farming community. This is the corn capital of Illinois, right?
Okay.
And when you live on a farm, usually you have big families because there's a ton of work to do on a farm, so when farm men are looking for a good farm wife, they're looking for somebody that's breeder quality, right? Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of beautiful women. They come in all shapes and sizes, Brady, but certain beautiful women are not breeder quality. You know what I'm saying? For instance, you look at a Norma Dumont, okay? You got those hips, you got some thickness there, you got a width, there's some heft there. That is a girl, that is a woman that is breeder quality, right? And then you look at another beautiful woman, say somebody like a Diana Belbita, for instance, right? She's a beautiful, tall, strikingly beautiful woman, but she's neural, right? Oh. She's got no ass. There's no hips. The difference between the ribs and the hips is nothing there. That is not breeder quality. So when somebody from a farming community refers to somebody as breeder quality, it really is quite a compliment.
It's a compliment. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. and Brady, you are what, a power forward?
Yeah.
Small forward, power forward. What does a guy do when they got some post moves? You get that ass into your opponent, you body them up, whether you're boxing out or whether you got your back to the basket and you're trying to score in the post. Somebody with breeder quality is going to be able to put on some moves down there,
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think of it like that. We actually were on time. We figured we were off for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I thought we should come on time tonight, and we did. Uncle of the Year has to be Heine Barcelos. We will get to that one very shortly. Uncle is Uncle of the Year. We'll see, man. We'll see if he's Uncle of the Year. Never late, never ever, just exceptionally fashionable. That's a good way to put it. I hear through very valid sources that Cedric Dumas will be making a live appearance tonight to collect an award. No, I'll have to hit him up. We'll see, man. We got the MMA Husky Hustler saying, I nominate my Siberian Husky for Husky of the Year. First year on YouTube and already the most accurate UFC predictor. Wishing Brady Uncle Weezy a Happy New Year in advance. Appreciate you, MMA Husky Hustler. Shout out to your Siberian Husky for Husky of the Year. Heck yeah. Deep Insider, finally, yes sir. We got TH. What's up, bros? What's up? We got Nathan Robinson as on time as always. You got that right. Welcome back, y'all. Don't forget to smash a like. Agreed. Appreciate you, DXJC. We got Cole Stein. I'm looking forward to it as well. We got John Q in the building. I'm starved for fights. Thanks for breaking up the time. We got you. Most informative media member of 2025 in Nina Drama. There you go. Wow, Weezy, man. Yep. Prayers for Anthony Joshua. Yeah, that was crazy. I thought that was fake at first. That was just wild. Happy New Year's, guys. Yes, on the IPA Weezy, I'll toast with the bourbon. There we go. Congrats on the ship, Brady. Got 1-2 this season. Yeah, it's always good to get at least one in there, We got Bunkoots. What's up, guys? Man, I'm going nuts without fights. I've been playing poker, getting done right in. Damn, Uncle Dana. Yeah, it's too long. It's too long. Big hips equal breeder quality.
That's right.
Did Brady flex on us yet about his plus 7,000 touchdown parlay? I did not. It was I just kind of threw it together. I was watching the game and I wanted something on the game. I put like $10 on it and won like 750. It was crazy. I don't know if Uncle Wee's going to be singing tonight. I don't know if Uncle Wee's going to be singing tonight.
No, man. No, I don't sing.
What happened with AJ? He got in a pretty bad car accident.
And was it in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria?
Yeah, I think it was in Nigeria. Yeah,
man, that's rough.
Gosh. All right, well, we got a lot of words to get to, so I want to get your guys' thoughts in the chat on each award, but there are going to be a couple of awards we're actually going to take your guys' vote and give a winner. Okay, okay, so let's get into it here. The 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show. So first up, we got Unk of the Year. Let me know in the chat who you guys think should be Unk of the Year. Gonna kick it to Wheezy. Wheezy, let us know the 4 nominees for Unk of the Year.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got Hani Barcelos, who was one of the hottest prospects when he first came into the UFC a long time ago, and he could never stay healthy, Brady. And they were making him huge favorites whenever he was fighting, and he was somebody who just kind of never really lived up to the expectations that people had of him and a fighter of his quality and how well-rounded he was. But this guy is now at 38. I mean, he's won, I think I've got it up here. He's won 4 fights in a row. He's 3-0 in 2025. He beat Peyton Talbot as probably the biggest underdog cash of the year. He goes on to beat another Unk in Cody Garbrandt. And then he beats Ricky Simon. Before that, he had a great come-from-behind win over Christian Quinones. And he did that, I believe, injured. I believe Hani Barcelos was injured in that fight, and then he came back to win it. So this guy's only losses since the year 2023 have been against Kyler Phillips and Umar Nurmagomedov. And he is absolutely starting to have a resurgence and fulfill a lot of the potential that he had, coming in. And then you got Neil Magny, who has won fights in some of the most improbable ways in 2025. He finally got caught slipping here against Yaroslav Amislov in the last fight, but wins over guys like Jake Matthews and Mike Mallet and Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. So Neil Magny turning back the clock and winning 3 in a row was huge. Ayman Zahabi, I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he keeps doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a 29-28. It could have went either way. He lands the biggest strike of the round, takes almost no damage and wins decisions, and he keeps pulling it off. And then Muslim Salikov, who I have a picture of at my Yaya's wedding back in 1935, Brady. This guy has been around literally forever. The only person that still has a black and white picture on Tapology. So Muslim Salikov, 41 years young, spinning old kick that can absolutely catch anybody in the division. So we got some unks in here that are turning back the clock and finding wins in improbable ways, Brady.
Man, some could argue 2025 was the year of the unk. I mean, I had to narrow it down, man. I had to really narrow it down to these 4 because there was even some other guy. Remember that one card? It was that pay-per-view, UFC 318, where it was unk after unk after unk. Remember Michael Johnson beat Daniel Zellhuber, Pitbull beat Danny Ige, 40-year-old D-Rod beat Kevin Holland. I mean, you could argue, 2025 year of the unk.
No question, man. And this is a sport where experience matters. And the numbers will always tell you that the younger guy wins. But there are certain situations where these guys, remember when Stephen Thompson basically beat Gabriel Bonfim?
Yeah, very close fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those guys were 10 years apart, at least in age. And that was a very close fight that could have went either way. We've seen a lot of these guys actually. I mean, Jose Aldo cut down to 135 and actually had some wins, so many years after he was relevant in the championship talk for that division. So yeah, man, it's been crazy how these guys can keep going into their 40s, some of them. Even Nick Dalby.
Yeah, Dolby's
Nick
another
Dalby out there getting him. He just got to win. Dude's 41 years old.
It's crazy. Year of the Unk. Year of the Unk, 2025. So we're going to decide the winner first. We want to hear what the chat has to say. Sacha was on Jamie Lynn Horth by KO at plus 1,700 against Teresa Plata. Cash it with ease. That was insane. Miss Cedricus Dumas winning an award today. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. 4-ounce sniper liking Ayman Zahabi. Yeah, you can make a case for Zahabi. Zahabi's been on a roll, just keeps on getting it done. We got Dylan liking Hayani Barcelos. We got the black Irish liking Muslim Stalikov. I don't know how Zahabi keeps getting away with this. It's got to be him. Just keeps getting away with it. Muslim Stalikov or Neil Magny got to get this. Muslim is 78 years old and knocked out Liao. I couldn't believe that. I've never seen Liao even hurt. Like, you can run over Liao with a car and he'll just look at you. I mean, for him to knock out Liao in 60 seconds was crazy. Yep, Stalikov did lose to Medic, and Magny did lose his last fight as well. 7 fights in a row for Ayman Zahabi. I can't believe it. Losses are all part of the Unk way.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ozmat Mirzakhanov count as you got to count him as I mean, this guy, he's not 36, he's like 46. Hayani easy, have to base this on 2025 performances only. It's got to be Hayani undefeated in 2025, all solid wins, and I suspect he's really in his 50s. Agreed. Yeah, Tony Ferguson making a resurgence in boxing. Heck yeah. What is the Unk version of WMA? Maybe Aunt? I don't know.
The auntie.
We're not doing that award, but it is time to get to the Unk of the year. 4 incredible options, 4 guys with really good years, but Unk of the year goes to Hayani Barcelos. Barcelos went out there and started the year off as one of the biggest dogs of the year against Peyton Talbot. Talbot was like minus 1,000, and he not only beat Talbot, I mean, he kind of made it look pretty easy. I just took him down like 8 or 9 times. Just a veteran performance, an Unk performance. Goes out there and beats Cody Garbrandt, hurts him in that fight, and then goes out there and he beats Ricky Simone. Yeah, Ricky Simone, which that was a good win. He was the underdog there as well. So 3-0 in the year 2025. Unk of the year goes to Hayani Barcelos. Congratulations, Hayani Barcelos.
That was an amazing year for him. I mean, and he's just keeps getting better, and it's crazy because I remember when people were talking about him like, this is Jose Aldo. This is the better version of Jose Aldo, people used to say, and he just couldn't stay healthy, Brady. And now he's healthy, and he's fighting 3 times a year. And you know what's crazy about this? All the other 3 guys on that were welterweights. This guy's doing it in a division where you're not supposed to be getting old he's 38, 39 years old. You're not supposed to have success at that age in the bantamweight division. And he's not only doing it, he's doing it against guys like Ricky Simon, Peyton Talbot. Christian Quinona is only like 27 years old.
Yeah.
So amazing year for Barcelos.
Big shout out to Hayani Barcelos. Yeah, could have did like the auntie. I don't know who would even be the auntie.
Dude, it's got to be Mizuki Inoue. She's had more knee surgeries in the last 5 years.
27, isn't she?
I mean, she came back. I mean, like you see Virna Jandiroba with those knee sleeves. Like Virna's knees are in way better shape than Mizuki, and she went out there and beat like a multiple-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt world champion. Amazing stuff. So it's got to be Mizuki Inoue. They say black don't crack, but those Asians, it's the same thing, man.
I can't wait to see her fight again in 2035.
She's gonna be co-headlining with the return of Elias Cobb Kizraev. It's gonna be beautiful.
Where is Kizraev? Where's he at?
He's somewhere in the mountains of Dagestan, and I mean it's gonna be hard to find him. He looks like everybody else there.
Oh gosh, he's terrifying for sure. Terrifying looking. Peyton got unked for sure. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Marcellus undefeated in 2025, 3-0 versus solid competition. Yes, sir. Cole Sainz like in solid choice. Hayani and Ayman Zahabi are both bantamweight prospects. I mean, I've been hyping up Hayani for the longest time. I've been hyping this guy. I remember hyping him up so bad And then he went out there and lost to Victor Henry. I was like, what's going on? But
Yeah.
he seems to have finally found his groove a little bit. He's being active and he's fighting really good at 38 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. It is now time for the next award in the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show. And it is going to be Referee of the Year. Going to kick it to Uncle Weezy. Give us the 4 nominees for Ref of the Year. Notice I didn't have Jason Herzog, which a lot of people usually say he's Ref of the Year. I thought he stunk this last year and a half. But yeah, 4 referees here, Weezy. What do we got?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough choice, Brady, because it's like choosing like the umpire of the year. They're all fat and they all suck and they all can't see. So it's like, which one of these guys fucked up the least? Was it Mark Goddard and his massive ego? Was it the overrated Herb Dean? Was it Ozempic Keith Peterson, who I'm a little bit worried about? And, and which is better than being a lot worried about him like I was maybe a year ago. And then you got the venerable Chris Taioni, the nice guy, the guy who's always like smiling in
he's
there
not nice
and
to
congratulating
Matt
everybody.
Schnell.
Yeah, like he dunked on Matt Schnell, and then he's nice to everybody else, though. Yeah. One of my favorite Chris Taioni moments. Do you remember when Amanda Lemos knocked Montserrat Ruiz into the middle of next week? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then after the fight, he kind of puts his arm around Montserrat and he kind of smiles at her, and she looked at him like she was gonna fucking slit his throat. And he just kind of looked back away and was like, you could tell how uncomfortable he was when he had done that. But I'm a big fan of Taioni, but like Peterson has gotten better. I think he might be sober now, Herb Dean just kind of like he's consistent, that he's nothing if not consistent. Goddard, there's a lot of ups and downs. He makes me angry a lot of the times, he seems to be a little bit mercurial, but I think it's a pretty good, you don't have the bad ones on there, Dave Shellstad, who was the guy who he did the Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Terrier fight. I don't know if you remember that absolute disaster. We got Vyacheslav Kisiev, who could not. When you're in a Siberian gulag, Brady, I don't even know if there's any more pictures available of this man. So I think that this is a pretty good choice here.
Yeah, we could have like worst ref of the year. Obviously, like Herzog would be up there. Danny Murray,
Murgliata, he's always up there.
Like Mark Smith. I don't know about Mark Smith, man. I don't know about him. But
Dan Movaheady, one of my least favorite referees of all time. That guy's awful. He never shuts up in there. He loves the sound of his own voice. Like when he misses headbutts. I remember the headbutt in the Alvarez Diakese fight. There's some bad ones, So I think these are the guys who might have fucked up the least in 2025.
That's what I was thinking. Putting this together is like, who pissed me off the least amount of times? And these were the 4 names that came to mind. Keith, W. Like and Keith there. They released Renat Fakhretdinov. Didn't he not lose a fight? Didn't he go undefeated in the UFC?
Undefeated. He did have a draw. People thought that he lost to Leal. He had a close fight against Nick Dalby. So his record maybe looked a little bit better on paper than what it actually was. But what are we doing here? You see some of these guys that they're signing and you're like, how do these guys get signed? But you're cutting Fakhretdinov. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I'll never forget what he did to Brian Battle. He just destroyed Brian Battle. He looked like a contender in that fight. And then he, submitted Lee, right? Kevin Lee in 60 seconds.
Dude, he did. He submitted him, but he absolutely knocked him out first. Yeah. He leveled him. Fakhretdinov could wrestle, but he could also knock you out. He would swing for the fences when he was on the feet. So I don't understand that. It just seems odd to me that you're cutting that guy.
Yeah, just weird. Ref of the year, Dan Murgliata really kept it entertaining. Yeah, he almost retired me from life.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which one's under investigation? None of the ones on the screen. Keith did good this year, actually. Honorable mentions, Skinny Guram. Yeah, I forget his name. But I know you're talking.
Bosaski.
Yes.
Lucas Bosaski. He does a good job. Yeah.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
Big Dan had a top 3 F up versus Frivola, and I'll never forget that. That'll haunt me for the rest of my life. I literally cashed an under, but it went over somehow. I can't believe it. Got to give it to Keith. He was even sober for 2 events.
2 events? That's incredible.
It's a step up. Kerry Hadley
it really is.
He took a pick with Gordo, I think. Kerry Hadley took a pick with Gordo. Yeah, Hadley, he had a rough year, I think, last year, but I think he's been fine this year. Every time Goddard winks at me through the screen, I want to violently smash my TV. He does be winking a lot, man.
He does that hand rubbing thing too.
What are you doing? Just wrap the fight. What are you doing, man? We got black belt. Santayoni for having the most. Yeah, he's having fun in there, man. His chat with Chanel after the fight wins it for him. Sad to not see Gary Copeland in the running though. Didn't Gary Copeland almost kill somebody? He'll never be on this list. He killed did he almost kill King Green, or was that Hadley?
No, that was Hadley who almost killed King Green. Gary Copeland's the guy who stops fights too fast.
Yeah.
He's the one who jumps in there before anybody's out. Yeah,
that's right. Well, so Rodriguez Dumas won a fight in 2026. In
the octagon?
In the octagon, probably not. Outside of the octagon, I
predict he beats the shit out of one of his baby's mamas. Absolutely 10-7s. That's my prediction. I don't make a lot of predictions, Brady, but that one is one I'm going to stick to.
Fair enough. We need to get but let's get Kim Winslow back in there. Where's Herzog at? I don't know, man. I don't know where he's at. Not on this list, that's for sure. We got Muhammad in the building. What is up? Hope you all had a good Christmas. We did. Hopefully you did as well, Muhammad. Did you see Martin Budai got demolished round 1 in octagon? Yeah, I saw he got demolished. Pretty crazy, pretty unfortunate circumstances for Martin Budai getting cut and then getting sparked in the first round. We got Colin with the $3 donut. Appreciate you, Colin, saying worst ref award should be called the Mazzagatti. The Mazzagatti worst referee of the. I like that, and it probably would be Herzog if we did it. Either Herzog or Danny Merck. I think those would be the top 2.
Yeah.
Aspinall BJJ takes another look. The people want to see violence in that, and since that's the case, Herb, if he dies, he dies. Dean is the real winner. Hatley almost, can't believe Hatley almost killed King Green. Changed King Green, I think.
Do you think that maybe he had some kind of a beef with King Green going into that fight? Probably didn't like his antics. I would be interested to know if Hatley had ever reffed any of his previous fights, and if there had ever been some kind of, because that looked like he was kind of like, all right, I'm going to let you take a few extra shots here.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few from Jalen Turner.
Dude, I don't know who would win this fight. I mean, Marvin Vettori is turbo washed.
Wow.
That's a tough one. It's crazy that I'm even saying it's tough, but Marvin Vettori is so washed.
Dude, Marvin Vettori has 0 quit in him, and Cedricus Dumas has so much quit in him. There's no way that Vettori's losing that fight.
That's a good point.
The only way that fight could possibly be a Dumas win is if it had time limits.
Yes. That's a good point. All right. It is time to get to the referee of the year. And man, I'll be honest, Weezy, if you told me, 2-3 years ago that this man would be referee of the year in 2025, I would have said, "Are you kidding me? No, he's not. He's a drunk. He's smoking too many cigarettes." But the referee of the year is Keith Peterson. I got to give a big shout out to Keith Peterson, Weezy. The amount of times we busted his balls over the last, couple years, right? We'd say he's drunk. We'd say, he's at the bar in between fights. We'd say he smells like cigarettes. But this year, I can't think of one instance where I'm like, this guy's drunk in there. This guy's intoxicated. Somebody, give him a breath analyzer. I thought he did really good. He's, looking a lot more healthy in there. He's looks like a completely different person in there nowadays. And I think, him becoming a completely different person is kind of maybe affecting his performance in a very good way. Been very, very surprised with how good Keith Peterson's been this year.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the great thing about being a referee is that You can have a bounce back year. 2026 could be the year of Jason Herzog. He might be amazing.
Yeah.
He might be amazing because all he would have to do is just be a little bit better than he was this year. And you would be like, that is a massive improvement. Maybe Jason Herzog stopped going to snuff films.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, you know, he figured out some things in his life that just stopped having him be so angry at people and just letting him get killed in there. And Peterson's lost some weight,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and that probably means maybe he's not drinking as much. Maybe he's not smoking as much, although smoking will help you kind of stay thin, you know. But yeah, Keith turning back the clock, looking good, and he had a good year as a referee. Can't remember once actually that I would say, wow, Keith had a really bad performance in that fight. So yeah.
Big shout out to Keith Peterson. Let's go. Yes. So we can roll out Hatley's. Yeah. So apparently that was the first fight ever, actually, that Hatley refed for King Green.
Oh, wow.
No nonsense. No nonsense. They say the best refs are the ones you never talk about, not Keith. Jason Herzog and amazing in the same sense. Hopefully he's going to turn it around. He's going to turn it around. Remember when Chris Downey was jacked and had hair? Yeah, he looks completely different nowadays. It's crazy looking at older pictures from him. Check out Keith's metal band Sometimes Losers. So he has a metal band called Sometimes Losers Win. I'll have to check it out.
I'm going to have to check that out because I think he'd be a great vocalist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So next, I believe it's going to be the first fan vote of the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show, which means we're not going to decide this next category. You guys are going to decide the winner in the chat, I believe. Let's see. Yes. So let me put it up in the poll. And we have the William Knight Performance of the Year. This means which fighter went out there and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He did absolutely nothing for 15 minutes. He went out there and just did nothing for 50. Just a William Knight-esque performance of the year. Weezy, what are our 4 nominees?
So it's interesting here because we've got one winner and we've got 3 losers on this screen. Now, Ibo Aslan lost to Billy Elikana in one of the most trash performances of all time. These guys were acting like they were longtime friends in there. They're high-fiving. They're dabbing each other up, and they're not throwing punches. You know, it's like get each other's number after the fight, you losers. You're in there to hurt each other.
Yeah.
And then there's Michelle Pereira, the yacht hat, the beautiful boat. You know, the lovely coastline rides along Brazil with beautiful Brazilian women. In that fight versus Abus Magomedov, not only did Michelle Pereira put on one of the worst in-cage performances that we've ever seen, but perhaps the worst pre-fight dance routine, the most listless. I've seen more energy, you know, in a 5th grade dance, you know, competition than I saw in Michelle Pereira's walkout in that fight against Abus Magomedov. If you want to see something horrible, watch the whole thing. This should be something that everybody watches on Halloween. It'll scare the shit out of you how somebody can have that much of a lack of urgency while dancing and while fighting. Then you got Denzel Freeman versus Merrick Bulow. And really, it should be Merrick Bulow that's on the screen because Denzel did just a little bit more than Merrick did. Right? Denzel won all 3 rounds of a horrible fight. And I actually watched that fight last night, Brady, because I was researching Freeman versus Coaked to get a little bit ahead. And I hadn't watched the fight because I think that was up on it like the crack of dawn on a Qatar card or something like that. So I didn't get to see it. And so Freeman won the fight, but it was a terrible performance and a terrible fight. And then, wow, Montel Jackson. I remember I was thinking all week that I was going to place a large bet on him. I just didn't quite get there because it was Davison Figueiredo, and he looked like he tried to throw the fight. He really did. The lack of urgency was stunning, and obviously William Knight's lack of urgency in the Marcin Prachnio fight is the award that we're handing out here. Which one of these guys showed the least urgency in their fight. And I think that there are 4 phenomenal choices here, Brady.
Yeah, honorable mention was Kevin Borjas. Remember Kevin Borjas versus Sumadarji? He went out there. He landed 16 strikes.
Yeah, he 16. Looked. I mean, like he had no idea how to close the distance.
Yeah, so that was honorable mention. But we got 4 good options here. I mean, that Aslan performance against you can't even call that a performance. I mean, it just was a staring contest for 15 minutes. It was horrible. You know, Denzel Freeman. Did you watch the fight with the sound on by chance?
I did. Yes, I did.
So you heard Freeman in the second round. He's like,
yeah,
hey, yeah.
I thought Brady. See, because I didn't watch it on UFC Fight Pass because you can't watch it on UFC Fight Pass. You have to watch it on Watch MMA Full. I thought it was his corner telling him to throw. You know, like I thought it was his corner yelling at him because the sound's just a little bit off. Like the timing's a little bit off. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Denzel that's making those noises. Because he was saying ho. He was like saying ho, ho. Hey, and ho. I thought it was his corner saying throw, you know, because he wasn't doing anything. That was a horrible fight. I cashed on it. I had 3 units on Freeman at -140. I cashed on it, but wow. And I mean, like the only person that was worse than Freeman in that fight was Merrick Bulow. That was even worse. They cut him. They cut him after that performance, by the way.
One and done.
Yeah.
And then Pereira versus, I'm still convinced he threw that fight. And that was ridiculous. And then Jackson versus, if there was another rigged fight, fixed fight this year, it was probably that Jackson fight. Just did nothing for 15 minutes. What are you guys liking for this? William performance of the year. We'll get to the results very shortly. I'm sitting in my hot tub drinking a couple of Zimas. The blood is flowing. There you go. Enjoy that hot tub. Has Tuco Toko Scott an award? I don't think he has.
He got a win.
Did he? Against, was it Tafa? Oh, yeah.
I was going to say the bad Tafa, but that doesn't tell you anything.
They're both pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. It's Michelle Pereira. I can forgive someone making their debut, but doing nothing when you're on a huge finish streak against a gas bag is unacceptable. Yeah, I still can't believe that performance. Ever since Michelle Pereira's wife outed him for cheating, the guy forgot how to fight. It's a shame. Michelle's really 40 though. Montel Jackson has no excuse laying an egg against a much smaller man. Yeah, that's weird to me. You know that it was his biggest fight of his career, and goes out there and just lays an egg. Fluffy did take his soul, it seems like.
Yeah. Watching
Tuco Toko sink in that sub was my Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, I didn't have any money on that fight for obvious reasons, but yeah, kind of crazy to see Toko's going to win in the UFC.
It really was, man. And especially after he couldn't take down a New Zealand kickboxer in Sterling the fight before. And then, he goes out there and just absolutely makes Tafa. He made Sterling look like, Karelin out there. You know, it's like, really? That guy could stuff your takedowns, but this guy can't, So, yeah, that was wild.
Wild. If Denzel Freeman doesn't win this award, then signing off and throwing my TV out the window. Michelle was on an 8-fight winning streak when he got whooped by Fluffy. Yeah, and he hasn't looked the same since.
Yeah.
Dana's saying probably Michelle or Montel. Aslan's performance is even worse considering his next fight came out insane in the first 10 seconds. He could have done that the whole time. He could have, man. But I'm glad he I think he did redeem himself. Even though he lost that fight, I think it's, that's kind of what the UFC wants to see. They want to see guys go out there and try. All right. Gotta miss this. Me too. Maybe it's just recency bias, but Denzel Freeman was underwhelmed but Denzel Freeman underwhelmed quite well. Yeah, he did. All right. Let's get to the winner of the fan vote. And the results may shock you, Weezy.
Okay.
We have 40 votes.
Okay.
In fourth place with 5%, Montel Jackson.
Yeah. God damn it. That was a horrible performance by Montel. I wonder how he felt after that one.
He strikes me as a guy that just doesn't care, to be honest, but
I know he shows up only once a year anyway, right?
Yeah. I don't think he really cares, yeah. But Ibo Aslan, third place, 23%. In second place, Michelle Pereira, 34%.
No!
And then in first place, The William Knight Performance of the Year goes to Denzel Freeman.
I got to tell you, Brady, I don't disagree with our audience often, but what the audience missed here was the dance routine. It was the dance routine, dude. It was the dance routine that preceded the Magomedov performance by Pereira. It was a harbinger for one of the worst performances of all time. I got to say, I think our audience got this one wrong. I think they got it dead wrong. It's Michel Pereira. It was always Michel Pereira. It is the William Knight Performance of the Year. You gave it to the guy that he won. Damn you people.
I think no, it's between the dance performance or the hey ho, hey ho, hey ho.
That's true. That's true. He was yelling while throwing nothing in the second round.
So it was very close. Yeah, like I said, Michel Pereira 34%, Denzel Freeman 38%. It was very, very close. So shout out to the William Knight Performance of the Year goes to Denzel Freeman. We got Haymaker in the building. What is up? This pick reeks of tobacco and bad decisions. Michelle got right. Some people might argue Michelle got robbed here, but Michel Pereira also could potentially win a award, down the line. We'll see. Is there a Referee of the Year award? Yes, it went to none other than Keith Peterson, Referee of the Year, Keith Peterson. Freeman winning a loser award after a win. A perfect choice. Calm down, Weezy. He loves the dance. He does. Uncle Weezy, I got nothing wrong. Hey ho wins, and my TV was on the line. Hey ho, hey. Let's see if he hey ho's against Josh Hogan. UFC 324, right? Or is that 325?
That's going to be the next card. So yeah, I think it's 324, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 324. That's going to be a really fun card, and that's a great fight. Hogan versus Freeman.
Good fight.
Dude, Freeman's like plus 195, man. I think that's a pretty good look, actually, for that fight. It's one of the ones that I'm looking into right now, and that's a high-level heavyweight fight right there between Freeman and Hogan. Those are two guys that actually have top 15 upside in the division right now, in my opinion.
Hey ho, yeah. Michelle has his own yacht award to give out. Yeah. I wish we could get some of these guys on the show to give them their award. Like, what's Denzel Freeman doing right now?
I don't know, but he's in Colorado, probably training for that next fight coming up against Hogan. A big fight for him. And I think that he knows, dude. He knows. He that fight was in Abu Dhabi. It was his UFC debut, probably taking place at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning where he's from. So yeah, it was a shit performance. He at least he got the win, but he's gonna have to show a lot more next time out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's check on this. Is this stupid football game over? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
Yeah, it's about over.
Did these candy-ass Rams actually win?
They're down 3 with 16 seconds left. They're both at their own 35, so they could still get a field goal. No timeouts, though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, before we move on to the next award, if you guys have not already, be sure to get those likes up. And if you guys are watching on Twitter or X, hit the retweet for us. And then we'll do another fan vote in a little bit. Once that fan vote comes on, you guys can come over from X to YouTube and vote on that as well. But we got to get to the next award, Weezy. We got plenty to give away tonight. Next, we have one of my favorite awards of the year. We have the On-Site Piping of the Year. And people always ask, we get a lot of newbies to the show week after week, and they're like, oh, what's the piping? What's the milking? Well, the piping is, it's destruction. It's going out there and just destroying your opponent. And I think it's safe to say all 4 of these guys went out there and destroyed their opponents. Weezy, what are the nominees for the On-Site Piping of the Year, courtesy of Colton G?
Now, we've seen Jack Hermanson get piped on site 2 times in a row now. But I think the more brutal of the two was when Gregory Rodriguez absolutely just stole his soul and Jack didn't wake up for a while. So, I mean, that was a violent knockout. And then you talk about the recent one here with Jalen Turner, who probably closed minus 500 over a potential Unk of the Year nominee in Edson Barbosa, who is a older gentleman moving back up in weight to fight a guy that's in the prime of his athletic career, and just an absolute violent knockout for Jalen Turner there. Then there's poor Jekka Seregi.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what Jekka's been up to lately, but it's probably been eating a lot of meals through a straw, Brady, because what Ju Sang Yu did to poor Jekka Seregi was absolutely brutal, and one of the most brutal knockouts of not just this year, but any year. And then poor Toshiomi Kazama. The guy just wants to grapple. He wants to go out there and grapple, but Elijah Smith didn't want to grapple with him. And what did he do? He knocked poor Toshiomi Kazama into the middle of next week, and it was really, really ugly. So 4 people got violently served, and the people that served those people are up right now for on-site piping of the year, Brady.
Yeah, some brutal ones. That Smith, I mean, I thought it was gonna be the first time we've ever seen somebody's head get slammed through the octagon. I thought there's gonna be like a hole in the octagon from Kazama's head. I literally thought he died. Quite frankly, I thought 3 of these 4 opponents died. I thought Jack Hermanson died. I thought Jekka Seregi died, and I thought Kazama died.
Yeah, Kazama,
Barbosa kind of got saved a little bit by the ref. He was on his way to like dying. The ref kind of saved him, but I thought 3 of these 4 losers in this just died, to be honest.
I remember watching the Smith versus Kazama fight, and the second that Smith picked him up, my girlfriend was in the room. I go, "Oh, it's over!" And she looked at me like, "What?" And then just bam. I mean, you could tell. You knew he wasn't going to let go of that triangle, and then just it was over. So brutal.
That was one that just missed the cut. Honorable mention: BSD versus Benny Dariush. Kazama still hasn't woken up. I believe it. Elijah Smith almost ended his life. Yeah, I literally thought he almost died. Gene Silva versus Melsick. Prochus versus Neal, Liao versus Morono, Ateba Godier versus
whoever.
Lots of good pipings. Good pipings. Kazama and Jackie were both unconscious for several minutes.
Yes.
Michelle Ola's GM3 got piped like a couple times, and he got piped by a couple of people this year. GM3. Rodriguez for the win. Sal, we'll be talking about Sal killed a little on down the show. Yeah, too many pipings. Greg wins this. Quillen Salkill did give a piping. Salkill Hackbrass was nasty. Agreed. Don't worry. Benel said he just had a bad weight cut and he's moving up to 170. The title run starts now. I don't know about that.
No.
Do we know that Jack is actually alive? I don't think we have confirmation on that. Yeah, brutal year for poor GM3.
Yeah.
Another one where Elijah had the nastiest piping, very nasty piping, but there can only be one winner. I think all 4 of these are very, very good pipings. When we're talking about an on-site piping of the week, we're looking at all 4 of these, guys as potential, this is what we're looking for in a piping. But the winner of the on-site piping of the year is going to go to none other than Gregory Rodriguez. And it wasn't just the initial knockout. It was the follow-up shot. It was the follow-up shot that did it. It was unnecessary. It was cold-blooded. It was uncalled for. A lot of people were upset with Rodriguez because Hermanson was already out. The fight was already over, and Hermanson was unconscious, and then he lands the nastiest follow-up shot. I'm like, poor Jack Hermanson is dead. We just lost to Jack Hermanson. Gregory Rodriguez, you're a sick man, and you just won on-site piping of the year.
I remember being like a little bit uncomfortable with the follow-up shot, but I also had Rodriguez as the ass shaving of the week that week. So I'm like, I think, Hermanson had been knocked out so many times. I was like, oh boy, I think he's going to not just win this, but win it violently. And then even then when he landed that follow-up shot, I was like, oh, Gregory, how can you go out there and shout out your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Who would have never done that to another fellow human being? But I mean, that's the sport. that's the sport. So, that's where we're left. And that was an on-site piping.
On-site piping, indeed. All right, the football game's over, so we should be getting some more extra viewers in here. If you guys are just tuning in, what is up? This is the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show. Appreciate everybody for being here, and we got a lot more awards to give out. Robobama killed him twice. Yeah, wasn't just once; it was twice, man. He literally stopped and looked at him and saw he was out, and then dropped the bomb on him anyway. It was just brutal. Super necessary, and that's true. Like in terms of the opponents, Jack Hermanta was by far and away the most impressive opponent out of all of them. That face of an 18-year-old Dominican MLB baseball prospect. I forgot about the fall. Yeah, it was the follow-up shot that did it. If he didn't do the follow-up shot, he might not be piping of the year, but he did the follow-up shot, and I literally thought he killed poor Jack Hermanson. Wow, Rodriguez is a priest and owns a church in Brazil. That follow shot. Wow. Morales did pipe up Sean Brady, and Sean Brady has actually got nominated for an award later in the show. We'll talk about Sean Brady later in the show as well. At some point, does a KO get too smooth to be considered a piping and should be instead considered a snipe? Ooh, sniping of the week, such as Hoofy versus Green, Quinlan versus Salkill. I like that. Sniping of the week.
Because that Hoofy versus Green was just beautiful. That was like Edson Barbosa when he knocked out Terry Adam way back in the day with that spinning heel kick. I mean, just amazing stuff.
It was a sniper, man. We got the Carrillo with the $20 dono. Appreciate you, Carrillo, saying Merry Christmas, gents, and thank you both so much for your efforts and sacrifices. Did I miss the most handsome female fighter of the year? If that category, it did. I don't know if that missed the cut. That was a category, I believe. I don't know if I put it in here, but
you've done videos before, Brady, with the most handsome fighter in the UFC.
I might have to add that. I'll add that in. No, it's too late now. But yeah, I swear I was going to do that. I think I put like Andrade in there. I put like Denise Gomes in there. I forget the other ones, but I guess that just missed the cut, Carrillo, unfortunately. But we got some good awards. Trust me, we got some good awards. We can't put them all in there. But yeah, appreciate Carrillo for the $20 dono. Means a lot. Gregory and Jafel are actual. Yeah, I know Jafel Filio is as well. Sniper KOs are the best. Agreed.
But they're not priests, though. They can't be priests. They have kids.
Yeah, I don't know.
Priests aren't out there
like preachers. Like preachers, right? Preachers.
Yeah, they're pastors. You know.
Yeah. Pastors
are out there. They're laying pipe. Priests, not so much.
Fair enough. Can you start posting odds on these so we can bet on them?
All the degenerate gamblers.
You guys are fiending for some action, huh? Carnal, I don't know. She's kind of handsome, I guess. She's not as handsome as Jessica Andrade, though. I think Andrade wins the award running away. I just don't think it's that close, to be honest. But all right, let's get to the next award, and it is going to be. We talked about the piping. Let's talk about the milking of the year. And a lot of people ask, what is a milking? What does that mean? What are you guys talking about? Well, here's 4 great options. Weezy, what are the 4 nominees for milking of the year?
Well, we have something that's not really a milking, but it was the first ever nominee.
Yes.
For milking of the week, and it was Carlos Leal versus Alex Morono. You have a Brazilian guy fighting a guy who is actually the same color as milk in Alex Morono, and then milking that gentleman. And then there was Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze, a phenomenal grappler, and Anthony Hernandez just absolutely dominated him and drowned him from minute 1. You had Sean Brady going out there milking of the week against Leon Edwards and just absolutely putting him through the ringer on the mat and submitting him in the 4th round with the guillotine. And then there was Brendan Allen versus Ranier de Ritter. Now, Ranier de Ritter got to dominant positions in all 3 of rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then slipped out of position in rounds 2 and 3 and gassed out and then was literally broken in half. We don't see a lot of guys get broken in the UFC when it happens.
Yeah,
when it happens, it's beautiful to watch. And
it is.
Brendan Allen might have ended the career of Ranier the Ritter. Now, we saw that Anatoly Malakin almost ended the career of Ranier the Ritter, but I think Brendan Allen might have been the one that put the final nail in the coffin, because we haven't seen RDR since, and we might not see him ever again after that performance. An absolutely dominant one-sided ass shaving there where Allen milked Ranier the Ritter. So 4 phenomenal candidates for this year's milking of the year.
4 great options. And believe it or not, so I was listening to an interview with de Ritter after his fight, and he's like, I can't walk up the stairs without completely gassing out. He's like, I can't walk up the steps. I'm like, this guy's never going to fight again. If you're getting, gassed out and walking up the steps. But apparently he does have a fight scheduled. I was kind of shocked to hear that. And I'm going to be betting against him, depending on the line. If this guy can't walk up the steps, I mean, he's fighting Kyle Ohio March 7th.
Wow. Okay. He's back, I guess.
He's back. He can't walk up the steps, but he's scheduled for a fight in March.
Well, we're going to find out, man. That's going to be an interesting fight, because Kyle is not going to be easy to dominate in the grappling exchanges. So he's been outstriking much better strikers than Ranier the Ritter. So I don't know if it's a good matchup for Ranier. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a fun fight. Brady over Leon embarrassed a former champ on his home soil. Yeah, I mean, that was a great performance. Great performance from Sean Brady. And I tend to agree. These all deserve to win. You got some nostalgia there with the Carlos Leal. Like you said, wasn't really a milking, but he kind of drained him, with his punches. But yeah, Sean Brady milked Leon. Fluffy, I mean, just textbook fluffy milking. And then this dude, de Ritter, couldn't even stand up after the round. Herzog had to help him up after rounds 3 and rounds 4, and then finally called it off. Just crazy. All 4 milkings were wild. Give each of them a test. Risen card with 5 title fights and 15 fights total tomorrow night. Jeez. It's at 2:00 Eastern time. Gee, I will not be up for that. Last live MMA card to bet on until like January 9th for all you degenerates. There you go. Yeah, I will not be up watching that. 2:00 in the morning. I don't know. Teat. Yeah, there's no female. We had a lot of female milking. It's crazy. We didn't have any female milkings as nominees, and there were a couple, man. There were definitely a couple female milkings, but none on this list.
Yeah.
Who's managing RDR? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Chat vote for most handsome female fighter for 2025. Cachoeira, Andrade, Verna, or Chris Cyborg, Pennington, and any other worthy nominees. Let's go. Krillo, I'll star your comment. Remind me at the end of the show. We'll do one. We'll do a chat vote since you did. We're generous and donated there, so we got you. Just remind me if I forget. All right. So it is time for the milking of the year, and yeah, this was a tough one because I think it's for me it's between Hernandez, Allen, even like Sean Brady. Like that was such a good milking, but like Hernandez like broke Delidze. Delidze was broken. He tapped out standing. It was just a very bad look. But I mean the milking of the year. I mean for me it's Brendan Allen. I mean de Ritter couldn't get up. After the second round, Herzog was looking at him. He's like, "Can you get up?" And then he gets up. The third round. After the third round, he's getting up a little bit slower. It's taking him a little bit longer. Herzog's taking a good look at him. And then the fourth round. It takes him a really long time to get up. He doesn't get off the stool. That's what we're looking for in a milking of the year. Not getting off the stool. Like you said, we don't see that too often. Like when's the last time somebody hasn't getting off the stool? Was it the Max Roshkoff against Austin Hubbard? I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Imagine it. Austin Hubbard was the guy to do that. Like you think about. Is that your dog?
Hey, I'm doing an award show. Can we do something about the dog? What are we doing? Take the dog out or something. What are we doing? Doing an award show.
At least your dog doesn't bark like Bootsy used to.
Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, nobody's taking the dog out? What's going on?
Yeah, dog's still whining over there. Dog needs to go.
All right. Oh God!
You want me to kind of like take over here for a minute, Brady?
Yeah, just for 1 minute. I got to take this dog out.
Yeah. So we were talking about Austin Hubbard being the last guy to make somebody to quit on the stool. I don't know if you guys saw this fight, but there was an amazing fight that happened a few weeks ago in the Spanish promotion WOW. There was a headlining main event between Hoy and Ibragimov. This fight went 3 rounds. Ibragimov won the first, Hoy won the second, Hoy won the third. And then after the third round, Ibragimov goes up to get back to his corner and literally collapses in the middle of the octagon. The ref still doesn't call the fight, and it doesn't get stopped until the 4th round was about to start. I haven't seen somebody broken in half that thoroughly in a very long time. So if you guys have UFC Fight Pass and you can watch the most recent WOW event with Hoy and Ibragimov as the headliner. Also, Brett Johns was on that card. There was a phenomenal head kick knockout in the fight before the Johns fight. Even the first fight finished with a triangle choke, if I remember correctly. Great finish. I told you to watch that fight, Brady.
It's great.
The Hoy Ibragimov fight. That was when you see somebody just get broken. That was a perfect example of it. When you see somebody like after a round, literally not like collapse to the canvas and not be able to get up for 60 seconds. You don't see shit like that very often.
Yeah, that second round was probably one of the best rounds I've ever seen.
Amazing. I mean, it was like a bloodbath. Both guys beat the fuck out of each other. There were lots of, both fighters were having a ton of success. One of the best fights I've seen of the entire year.
Yep, agreed. He drained RDR of all the milk he had and future milk that was being made. That's why I'm kind of worried about him fighting again. Like, does he have any milk left to be milked? I don't know. Put some respect on Thud Hubbard's name. I missed an hour. Well, guess what? We got a lot more to go. We got a lot more awards to give out. I mean, the dog just got taken out not too long ago. I don't know what's going on, but he probably hears me in here and feels left out type thing.
Could be.
Don't go illegal to pour on your wife. I would never do such a thing.
Oh God.
Tell her one of these days. Is that from a show, like an older show or a movie?
The Honeymooners. Yeah. The Honeymooners.
What? It's an older show, I'm guessing.
Yeah, way older. It was like before I was born. It was black and white, and there was Jackie Gleason, and his wife was named Alice, and he would say, "To the moon, Alice." And what he basically meant was, "I'm going to punch you in the face so hard that you're going to fly to the moon." It was in the good old days, Brady. So anyway, yeah, that was "To the Moon, Alice" is the Honeymooners. That's Jackie Gleason, old black and white comedy show from way back in the day. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a cool like 69 in the house. It's a puppy. That's why she's like whining, like it's not barking, just kind of like whining type thing. We got Mills in the building. What is up, MMA locker room?
What's up, Mills?
Mills, you gotta get us the connection with Dumas. Like he may or may not have an award that's won for this year. So we gotta hit him up. Have y'all seen Dumas's recent YouTube collaborations? Yes. I did see a video where he actually tier ranked like potential cellmate members, and it was a very interesting video.
Was that Magic and Nick Davis's show?
No, I saw he was on there too. It was a different one.
Okay,
like a tier. It was just a very interesting video. But apparently, he's doing like a lot of collaborations and stuff. Good for him. All right, we got to get back to it, guys. The next award, we got another fan vote. We got another fan vote here. So I'm going to put it in the poll here. You guys are going to decide this one. Last time you guys decided Denzel Freeman for the William Knight Performance of the Year. This time we have the Swing Your Dick Fight of the Year. Which one of these fights, went out there and they just swung their dicks. They just went out there and they swung their dicks. And these are 4 phenomenal fights. When we're talking about fights where there's dick swinging, these 4 kind of came to mind. Weezy, what are the nominees for the Swing Your Dick Fight of the Year?
So number 1, we've got Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval, an absolutely incredible 3-round fight where we had 419 significant strikes landed over a 15-minute stretch. An absolute banger of a flyweight fight, one of the best fights of all time. Then we had Zhu Rong versus Cody Steele. I believe this was Brady's Smash Your TV bet of the week, where we were saying, we know that Cody Steele wants to go out there and swing and bang, but if he were just to try to grapple and use his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu advantage, he could probably win this fight fairly easily, but he chose not to. He chose violence, and he went out there and gave a classic performance in an amazing fight. It wasn't a classic performance if you had money on Cody Steele, but that was a fun fight. Nazim Sadikov versus Nick Moda, one of the best fights of the year for several reasons. The swings and momentum in this fight were wide, and that is one of the great things. Like, my favorite fight of all time, Brady, is Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah.
And it was because there were about 17 shifts in momentum in that fight over 5 rounds. It was hard to score who was winning, but there was just violence, and it was just like a pendulum swinging back and forth about who was winning the fight. And Sadikov versus Moda was that, but it's the only card that has ever taken place in Baku, Azerbaijan. That is where Nazim Sadikov is from. And in front of his home crowd, he absolutely electrified the crowd with a come-from-behind win over a phenomenal power puncher in Nick Moda. Just an amazing MMA contest there. And then I don't know how long this fight lasted, but I think it was less than 120 seconds. And another fight where there were about 9 shifts in momentum between Iwo and Ebo, 205 pounds. Aslan coming off of one of the worst performances ever in the fight before against Billy Alicana. He came out there and showed why the UFC signed him and put on one of the best performances I've ever seen over a 1-round fight in just an amazing knockout win by Iwo Baraneski. So, yeah, the swing your dick fight of the year. You come out in the middle of the cage, you drop your shorts, and you start swinging that thing until it slaps somebody in the face and knocks them out. These are 4 great nominees.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Van Royval fight, like you said, there's so many significant strikes. That Sadikov fight was crazy. I had a Sadikov inside the distance bet. I was a little worried. Luckily, the ref did a good job not stopping the fight in the first round when Moda had him on the ropes, and then he knocked out Moda, kind of broke Moda late in that second round. Beautiful. And then, Rongju, Cody Steele, they kind of swung dicks. But, man, the Barninsky-Aslan fight, I was there live, and I'll tell you right now, I was only like a couple $20 beers deep. That fight lasted 1 minute and 29 seconds. It felt like it was like a 4-minute long fight. Like, it felt a lot longer than 1 minute 30. It felt really long, actually. And the fight, like a minute and a half. Like, it was just crazy, just nonstop action. A ton of swings, momentum changes. A couple times where I thought Aslan was about to knock him out. Barninsky didn't look so good, and then Barninsky knocks him. It was just a crazy fight. But I think all 4 of these fights are definitely worthy of a nominee for the swing your dick fight of the year. I'd say DDP got milked pretty bad. Yeah, the Chimaev did milk DDP. I was there live as well with Wheezy. Yeah. Not the most entertaining fight at all. I had secondhand dick pain from Iwu. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah. Me too. Iwu. Bald guy, slang a D. There you go. Van Royval all day fight of the year. Yeah, definitely fight of the year nominee. But this is swing your dick fight of the year. It's a little bit different. Ebo and Iwo deserved 100K each. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, give them 100K each. I felt like I chugged 3 energy drinks and a Zan watching that fight. Yeah, there were barely any people in the arena, and we were all going crazy. Imagine that fight with like a full crowd, because like the team up, like nobody was there. Like for the prelims, it was really weird. Sadikov Moda was so good. Then Sadikov had laid a big old turd his next time out against Farazayam. Unfortunately, there's no competition this year, no matter how good everything else was. The Ibu naming pattern was an obvious context clue. It would play out that way 100 times. $20 beer. I lied. It was actually like $25. $25 beer. So.
Jeez.
It's crazy, man. Plus the tip if you want to tip, and I do tip, every so often. A good runner-up would be that 2025 Dana White's Contender Series fight we saw that you did commentary for. I don't remember their names, but dicks were swung. Yeah, I forget their names too. But yeah, I know what fight you're talking about. One of the best.
Panfarov?
No, not a Pam Fraud fight.
No? Oh, damn it.
I think it might have been, no. Somebody in the chat probably knows.
Yeah, somebody probably. Yeah, I mean, like there was one fight on Dana White's Contender Series where they just, I mean, it was amazing.
Vologden. Mark Vologden.
Yeah.
Versus I don't even know.
I'll go on UFC stats right now. I'll type in Vologden, Vologdin. Oh, I put Vologden because I can't type when I'm drunk. So I can't. Vologden fought Martinetti.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Dude, there was 282 significant strikes landed in that fight.
Yeah, insane. Absolutely.
You know what's funny? That Luna, didn't he have a fight on Dana White's Contender Series that sucked ass in his previous performance?
No, that was his only one.
Okay. I thought that there was one guy that had that name that it was in a really bad Dana White's Contender Series fight a couple of years ago, but
maybe on the regional scene.
Okay.
But yeah, that fight was another option for sure. Martinetti versus Vologden, yes.
Yeah.
That fight was nuts. Didn't Dana give them? Yeah, Dana gave him a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Austin fight, you get a nod. Well, let's go over the results for the fan vote of the Swinger Dick Fight of the Year. And really, it's not even close, Weezy. I mean, the results are just, it's pretty unanimous. In fourth place is Van Royval at 9%. In third place is Sadikov Moda at 13%. Second place is Rongju versus Steele at 15%. And then in first place, by far and away at 63%, is Iwu versus Ebo.
That fight was amazing. I mean, just for that short period of time, that was amazing. And I can't wait to see what's up next for Baroneski, because that guy, he only had like 5 pro fights, but he's got a ton of amateur experience, and he's got a high-level judo background. The guy's clearly got a chin. He's got serious power. So this guy could make a run in this division potentially.
Dude, it's hilarious. I remember taping him for Contender Series, and it's like you watch all of his regional fights. He's taking guys down and smashing them, but his last 2 wins have been just bangers on the feet, just knocking guys out. So he can do it both. I mean, this guy could be good, man.
Yeah. He's an exciting prospect, and he's young too.
No, yeah. All right, let's move on to the next award for the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show. It is going to be the Upstanding Citizen of the Year. I think all 4 of these guys are great nominees. When we're talking about an upstanding citizen, we're looking for a guy that's going to follow the rules. We're looking for a guy that's going to stay out of trouble. If you had a daughter, this is a guy you would like to maybe date your daughter one day. Just a guy, just a class act. Helping the homeless, helping the elderly cross the street. Helping just helping people, right? Just an upstanding citizen, good guy. And we got 4 nominees. Weezy, what are the 4 nominees for the Upstanding Citizen of the Year?
Yeah, it's a worldwide award. We're going all the way to Russia, to Dagestan, to find a guy like Sharamagomedov, who is a humanitarian of the highest order. This guy is somebody who helps people. This guy is somebody who helps crippled children. This guy is somebody who does charity work on the regular. He's a fine, upstanding young citizen, and I know that you wish you had a daughter so that you could marry her off to somebody like Sharamagomedov, a handsome, really lovely human being. You got Isaac Dulgarian, who's one of the best wrestlers. And one of the things that we love about an upstanding citizen is when they always try. They always try. And Isaac Dulgarian will always give you a 100% effort, just like he did against Yadier Del Valle. He was just a little bit overmatched by the guy with no wrestling in that position there. And Isaac Dulgarian is somebody who we're going to hear a lot more from in the future. Then there's Cedricus Dumas. And Brady, we saw Colin Kaepernick get absolutely run out of the NFL because he was kneeling because of people like Cedricus Dumas. When you talk about somebody like Colin Kaepernick and who he threw his career away for, it was for American citizens like Cedricus Dumas, who have been railroaded by the police, with a lack of evidence, with a lack of crime, and it's just, kind of like a race baiting thing where you're just looking to put a face of somebody that, is ruining society, when it's not the cops. It's actually, it's somebody like Cedricus that's out there doing the hard work.
Yeah.
And he just, like they no good deed goes unpunished. And the evidence of that is Cedricus Dumas. And then you've got Conor McGregor, a man of Christ, one of the greatest athletes in the history of this organization, a man who's made very few poor decisions in his life, a man who would have been the president of Ireland if he wasn't railroaded by the people who run that country. A sober, Jesus-loving man in Conor McGregor. We got 4 upstanding citizens here. I mean, frankly, there's no losers on this screen right now. These are all winners. Doesn't matter who wins this award. These are 4 people who are making their communities better, Brady.
Agreed. 100%. Go category. OMG, it's Char. Yeah, Char's a great guy, man. Always staying out of trouble. Great guy. Diverse selection.
Yes.
Definitely a good look for Ewood to get rocked bad and still come back. Decay the guy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We're spoiled for choice here. Conor might have Cedricus beat, and this he might. We'll see, man. Isaac and Conor are the top role models of 2025. All class. Yeah, they're all classy, man. All classy guys. Conor McGregor is the man cake and trying to take over his country. He's basically Trump. And he wouldn't do that. Shara probably did the worst here, curb stomping a random guy in the mall. No, he didn't do that. They said he did, but he's actually a good guy.
Yeah.
That was the old Shara. 2025 Shara was the same. Agreed. Excuse me, I've got to take a piss. Take your upstanding citizen award to the garbage. I'll be right back. Appreciate you, Don Boone. If we were talking the most foul POS here, my vote goes to Conor. I despise the guy. That's not what we're talking. It's the upstanding citizen of the year.
And Conor McGregor has found Christ. He might have made a couple of minor bad decisions, but other than that,
Exactly. I would let Cedricus Dumas walk my loving grandma home. Dumas can do nothing wrong. Eagle Scout of the highest standards. Drugs, jail probation, ankle monitors, dog crate aside. Dumas is a stand. Yeah.
Said it. Yeah.
Because you're an upstanding citizen, Bulgarian. You're an honest man with honest intentions. Absolutely should be on here.
He always tries his hardest.
Can we really blame Bulgarian for trying to feed his family? Yeah, I lost my max bet on him, but he forced the ref to act like real refs going forward. Yeah, he took one for the team. I respect that. He took one for the team. All right. There can only be one winner. Although we have 4 great options, 4 upstanding citizens, there's only one upstanding citizen of the year, and it is none other. Cedricus Dumas. It was very close, but it was Cedricus Dumas. Congratulations, Dumas. Would have loved to have you on to give you this award in person, but congratulations, you are the upstanding citizen of the year.
I think it's a great thing. I mean, he might not even be able to spell Cedricus Dumas, but he can absolutely help his community, and it's about making the people around you better. And Cedricus Dumas does that. Anybody he steps into the cage with, he makes them look better than what they are. So I mean, like I think it's the right choice.
Absolutely. You can't spell upstanding citizen without Dumas. I don't think he can spell upstanding citizen.
I don't think he can spell his own name. It's like the Q is what trips him up. But that could happen to any of us.
Yeah, it's not the easiest name to spell, so I guess we can't be too hard on him for that. But
yeah,
all right. Upstanding citizen of the year, Cedricus Dumas. Glad to give him an award in 2025. All right, the next award we have the poor fighter of the year, and Wheezy. We have 4 poor fighters of the year. Wheezy, what are the nominees for the poor fighter of the year?
Yeah, some guys just the performances just haven't really lived up to expectations recently. And you got Beneil Dariush, 100% finish rate against. Granted, it's against some of the best fighters in the entire organization that are finishing this guy, but Beneil He's not known for his durability at this point in his career. And then you have some guys that are like, I mean, like you got Beneil Dariush, he's way up here. And then you got, below the floor that my feet are sitting on right now. That's where you have Muhammad Yahya, the toughest guy in the UAE. And boy, he absolutely, I mean, like he made Stephen Wynn look like Francis Ngannou. And boy, look at that picture. Look at that picture. I mean, this guy is such a bad fighter, Brady, that he almost ruined the career of one of the best referees to ever step in the cage, one Jason Herzog. Yeah. Then you've got a software engineer in Weston Wilson who decided to cosplay as a fighter for a little bit. And let me tell you, it didn't go very well, Brady. He had a couple of rough nights at the office. Couple of times, Joe Anderson Brito fight in particular, poor Weston Wilson. It didn't look good for him. And then you have Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson's been knocked out violently on several different occasions. He just got knocked out by somebody who's been, walking this earth since the Ice Age. Before that, it was the on-site piping of the year with Gregory Rodriguez knocking this man out. And he got knocked out so badly by Gregory Rodriguez that his brain stopped working and told him it would be a good idea for him to cut down to 170 pounds, where he got knocked out again. All four of these guys have had a rough year at the office in 2025, Brady. Which one of these guys is going to be the poor fighter of the year?
Man, I mean, I think they're all, just poor fighters of the year. But one really, really stuck out. Let's see what the chat thinks first, and then we'll get to it, man. Is this the equivalent to who needs to get some help? No, we actually do have a who needs to get some help award. Yeah. That'll be later on. Dumas's first and last win of 2025, unfortunately. Congrats, Enriquez Dumas. I would have loved to have him on here. Yaya's eye was in its third trimester, ready to pop. Yeah, that was just bad, man. Maybe Weston, did he win it last year? I mean, if we did the show last year, he probably would have won it. He probably would have won the award, but this is the first ever Stat Diggers Award show. Big ups, Jason. I had the over 1.5 too. My GOAT, my king, my criminal ref. Yeah, the over 1.5 got smashed before the fight kicked off. Weird. No, Jack. Yeah, no, Jekka's honorable mention. Jekka Seregi. Poor Jekka Seregi. Poor Rafael Cerqueira. Well, he did go the distance somehow with Julius Walker. I still don't get that. Yeah. And then he kind of got club and sus. So he didn't die like a couple of these guys on here, but poor guys. Patchy Mix 0-2 loses to Yaka Viklach. Poor Patchy Mix. Yeah, embarrassing.
Rough year.
But Weezy, so for this award, poor fight of the year, all these guys were finished brutally, right? Like Beneil Dariush was finished in the first 30 seconds versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Brutal finish. Yeah. Weston Wilson was finished brutally in the first minute against Yizan. Brutal finish, right? Muhammad Yahya, he got finished probably 10 times in that fight, got knocked down 6-7 times, right? Brutal. But Jack Hermanson didn't only get finished once. He got finished twice. Yeah. He was the only one on this list that got finished twice, and both were brutal. We already talked about the on-site piping of the week with Gregory Rodriguez, where Rodriguez landed that nasty follow-up shot, but Oralby folded him like a lawn chair. Yeah. I mean, the poor fighter of the year is poor Jack Hermanson, literally dying in his last two losses. Just two brutal knockout losses in a row. Poor Jack Hermanson.
It's been a rough year for him, and just to add insult to injury, he cut down to 170 to get knocked out. Yeah. And I remember when they announced that fight, or the Crazy Kev said that, Oralby was fighting Hermanson at 170, and I was like, this guy Crazy Kev has lost his mind. There is no way that Jack Hermanson, after getting knocked out in that fashion against Gregory Rodriguez, is moving down to 170 pounds. I had a visceral reaction to that fight announcement. I can't believe it actually happened. I can't believe Jack made the weight. You know what's crazy about that, Brady? Do you remember Justin Burlinson? Mm-hmm. He flew down to Qatar. He took 3 months rent that he didn't have, paid to take a flight down to Qatar because he thought if he showed up in Qatar that Jack Hermanson would miss weight so badly that he wouldn't be able to take the fight.
Yep.
So he flew all the way down there because he was like, there's no way this dude's going to make weight. He made weight and then got knocked out. So it was just a bizarre performance. And yeah, it's been a rough year for Jack Hermanson.
Yeah, it was a rough year for all four of these guys, to be honest. But I mean, Jack got it twice.
Yeah.
Jack got it twice.
Yeah,
so.
Brutal knockouts. Yeah.
Poor Jack Hermanson. I don't know if I'd call Patchy poor fight of the year. He just stinks. I mean, he didn't get finished. He just kind of stinks, to be honest. He could be stinky fight of the year. Like, who's the stinkiest fight of the year? Maybe Patchy Mix. Like, I don't feel bad for Patchy Mix. I feel bad for these four guys. When we're talking about a poor like, I feel bad for all four of these guys. I don't feel bad for Patchy Mix. He just kind of stinks.
Yeah, he got paid plenty to show up and lose those fights.
And look horrible. Look awful. Terrible. So,
Muhammad Yahya is on a 12-12 contract, and he embarrassed his entire country.
Yeah, same with Wilson.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the United States, like, it's going to take more to embarrass us than Weston Wilson, I mean.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, man. I mean, he looked good on the scales, don't get me wrong, but he got destroyed again. Destroyed. Yeah, I mean, cutting down an extra 15 pounds at almost 40 years old, it just wasn't the most wise thing. But all right, guys, let's keep moving on to the next award. We have the upset of the year. A lot of big upsets this year. We're not really going here off according to the odds. Like, if we were going according to the odds here, it would probably be Johanny Barcelos. But all four of these guys are pretty big dogs. Salikov was probably like plus 400 against Liao. Rodriguez was probably plus 350, plus 400 against Holland. Piotr Jan was plus 350, plus 400 against Marab, and Johanny was like plus 600, plus 700. But Weezy, what are the nominees for this award?
Yeah, because sometimes lines just get out of hand, because of immutable characteristics of the fighter. Like, sometimes, a fighter's just really close to retirement and you're willing to just bet the house against them. Muslim Salikov, a guy that I've proven is a vampire. I mean, if he was at my Aya's wedding, like, how the fuck is he going to win a fight in 2024 or 2025 in the UFC? Well, he does it over and over again. Peter Yan went out there and beat Merab Dvalishvili, who was on a 14-fight win streak, I believe. Amazing performance to go out there and out cardio Merab Dvalishvili, outwork him over a 25-minute stretch. You got Daniel Rodriguez, who is pushing 40 years of age, and he's beating a guy that's in the prime of his career in Kevin Holland. Now, of course, the line should have never got to minus 700 against a guy like Holland, who pulls stunts constantly, but it happened, and he got that win. And then Peyton Talbot was a very hyped fighter who was going against a legend in Johanny Barcelos, the much better grappler. And he was a minus 1,200 favorite on some books there, and Barcelos wound up getting that win and cementing one of the biggest upsets in the history of this organization and this year. So, yeah, for upset of the year, you've got four big underdogs who came through here, but Barcelos is the biggest underdog that came through in terms of just numbers, but like in terms of beating the best opponent, Peter Yan beat Merab Dvalishvili, a guy who's got one of the most unique types of combinations of skill sets that's difficult to beat in terms of just endless cardio, endless output, constantly making you defend. And Peter Yan went out there and made it look as dominant on his side as Merab made it look on his side the first time that they fought. So huge upsets here on the board. Yeah,
and there was even a couple more we could have mentioned as well. But yeah, these were some big upsets, man. I think all four really surprised me. Yeah, for sure. All four really surprised me there. Piotr Jan, for going from getting 50-45 to arguably 54-5ing Merab is undeniable. Yeah, crazy. Also biggest stakes, and numerically it's Johanny with the biggest underdog win of the year. But my heart, it's D-Rod. I mean, I'll never forget that. That hurt me pretty bad. The D-Rod Holland fight took years off my life. Because Holland almost finished D-Rod in the third round, but instead of finishing him with maybe an elbow or an extra punch, he started doing jumping, flying knees for some reason, just ridiculous. Upset of the year was Ewing beating Wellmaker. Another one you can mention for sure. Wellmaker was a pretty big favorite. Not as big as he wasn't minus 1,000. A lot of people were actually on Ewing there, but he was a pretty big underdog there. But the upset of the year was Piotr Jan, because I think it was DXJC said, it was the stakes, man. It was Merab. Like I said to myself after the first fight, I'm like, I'm never betting against Merab ever again. I'm never betting on him, betting against him ever again. He attempted like over 50 takedowns, and I watched the first fight back, and like it wasn't even competitive. Like it wasn't even remotely competitive. And for Jan to go out there and not only win, it's not like he won a close fight. Like he won it, pretty handedly. So, upset of the year, Piotr Jan against Merab Dvalishvili. Just an incredible performance and a really fun fight as well.
Yeah, I mean, to beat Merab is just an amazing accomplishment because he's just such a unique fighter. There's really nobody that ever, like when you talk about Merab, there's no comp. Who do you compare him to?
I don't know.
He's a unicorn. I mean, like somebody fighting with that style and with that combination of positive attributes really hasn't happened. And in the most deep division in the UFC, this guy had defended his title 4 times in a row, and he was how big of a favorite was he?
It's a pretty big favorite. He was like minus 400 or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, he's 80% implied to win this fight, and the fight wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an amazing performance by Piotr Jan.
D-Rod Holland looked like an AI fight. Yeah, something was off on that, man. D-Rod shafted my max bet. Salikov shafted my max bet. Massachusetts banned betting on Piotr Jan fights, and that saved a third failed max bet. It's crazy. We got Terry in the building. What is up? I made it. I was a week early, but I'm back. Live award show. Thanks, guys, for all the hard work. Good to see you in here, Terry. Wasn't an upset to us Jan stands. Yeah, fair enough. Like even I like Jan, but I wasn't expecting something like that. Just crazy. Piotr really deserved this career turnaround. Agreed. It's good to see Piotr back in there and doing well. All right. So next we have the comeback fighter of the year, and we're not talking about a comeback from performance where they're losing and coming back. We're talking about a comeback fighter, a guy that maybe left the UFC like Horiguchi and came back. Jalen Turner retired. Morales got cut. Piotr Jan went on a little bit of a downskid. He was kind of on the top of the world prior to the Alja fight. Who is the comeback fighter of the year for 2025? We'll start the poll. Weezy, let's talk about these nominees here.
Yeah, so Joseph Morales was gone for a long time. He got cut back before 2020. He's one of the original Team Alpha Male members and came back and, not only won both of his fights in the Ultimate Fighter House against some really tough opponents in that house, he came out as a plus 350 underdog against Alibi Idris and got a win in Chicago, a fight that we saw together, Brady. And then he goes out there and just runs through Matt Schnell.
Yeah.
So for him to come back and, the wins that he got outside of the UFC were not really UFC level wins. But this guy is coming in now and looking like a top 15 flyweight and he's still young and he's still got a lot of experience under his belt. So Joseph Morales is somebody who has really announced his name to the MMA community after not having a lot of fights between 2020 and 2024. But then he gets 2 wins in the house, the Tough House, and then 2 UFC wins all in 2024. So an amazing comeback for Joseph Morales. Jalen Turner retired and then came back and got a big win. Kyoji Horiguchi, this is a guy, I think he's got over 30 professional wins. He was, I think, 5-1, 6-1 in the UFC when they cut him and sent him off to Bellator. And he came back and got a big win against a really tough opponent in Tagir Ulanbekov. And then obviously Piotr Jan is the bantamweight champion of the world, a guy who everybody thought was going to dominate the division. And then one time he made one bad error. He kneed Sterling while he was down, and it basically ruined his career.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what happened, everything from that knee then on, he got robbed against O'Malley. He lost another close fight against Aljamain Sterling, a fight that I thought he won the first round and lost the second and the fourth because of back takes. And it looked like the guy was pretty much done. He was just fighting Marcus McGee a couple of fights ago, and now here he is, the UFC champion of the world, beating a guy in Merab that nobody thought he was going to beat. So we got some guys that have really turned things around here in 2025.
Yeah, and like honorable mention, somebody mentioned Benoit Saint Denis in the chat. That's a good one. You know, he kind of went on a little bit of a skid, came back with 2 really good wins this year against Dariush and was it Hoofy?
Yeah, he beat Hoofy.
Yeah. So, and then could have been Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute retired for a couple of years. He came back. He went 2-0-1 against. He had that draw against Bellato, but Crute's back. Yeah, a couple really good options here for the comeback fight of the year. We will let the chat decide on this one. Tough call between Jan and Kyoji Horiguchi. I mean, that performance by Horiguchi was just incredible. Incredible performance. Just pretty much broke to gear and subbed him even, which was crazy. Green King saying Jan is about to double up here. That was a great victory for him to get his belt back. Yeah, incredible performance, and yeah, he's back, man. Yeah, BSD honorable mention for sure. Charles Johnson. I think he beat Lonnie Kavanaugh, but he did lose a fight before that against somebody he really shouldn't have lost against.
Temirov.
Yeah, Temirov.
But Temirov was juiced to the tits on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Fair, you know. So Charles has been incredible, dude. He's got the win over Van. Nobody's beaten Van in this organization except for Charles Johnson.
Yep, exactly. Marco Tully with a comeback with Dumont. Is he back with her? There you go.
Good. God bless him.
Piotr Jan made Sterling quit. Jan was winning that fight. Yeah, he was probably going to finish him eventually, but you need to meet him illegally. Horiguchi has a tough matchup with Albazi. I don't think that's a tough matchup to be. Albazi hasn't been the same with that back injury. He's
done. Albazi's done.
The only person I've seen come back from a back injury was Ramiz Brahimaj.
Yeah, and Brahimaj looking good, but
I
mean, who's he knocking out? You know, I mean, what's the guy, the New York guy's name?
Mickey Gall.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, is Mickey Gall, but yeah, I mean, shout out Ramiz though. I mean, like that guy, his career was almost done for, right? And he's put together a couple of really nice wins here. Not over the best opponents in the world, but still, I mean, you got to hand it to the kid.
Yeah. Sterling 2 robbery. Yeah, I thought he beat O'Malley.
Yeah.
BSD was 3-0. Who else did he beat? He beat Dariush, Hoofy, and who else did BSD beat? Let's see.
Oh, that's a good question.
He beat Kyle Prepelec. That one doesn't count. So he's 2-0.
That wasn't Benoit's fault. He had an opponent drop out. You know, like I think Prepelec took that fight last second, right? I mean, he was supposed to fight somebody else.
If we get 100 likes, will you sing Zombie? Sure, because I don't think we're gonna get 100 likes. Let's see how much are we at. We're actually at a lot more than I thought. We're at 60.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if we get 100 likes by the time we get out of here, then sure, I'll sing Zombie. But we have like only 5 awards left to give, so you guys better get to it. Salsa Boy had a very good 2025.
Yeah, he did.
Van Fighter of the Year. Ramiz definitely had an honorable mention. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one too. Kyle
that's
Dawkins.
A very good one.
That's a very good one as well. But there can only be one winner. In the chat decided, and it's not that close. It's not that close. So, the comeback fighter of the year, last place Jalen Turner, 11%. Third place Joseph Morales, 18%. Second place Kyoji Horiguchi, 21%. And then doubling up, back-to-back awards goes to Piotr Jan at 50%. Piotr Jan, the Stat Diggers comeback fighter of the year.
Yeah, shout out Peter. He could have been the best of all time. He really could have been. If it wasn't for that knee against Sterling, he might have been the best of all time. And he came back and he proved it. You know, he had some things that really went against him that could have broken somebody mentally. But evidently, Brady, you cannot break somebody who grew up in Siberia mentally. You just can't. They're cut from a different cloth than the rest of us, man. Those guys live to survive. We live to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Got to be tough to live in Siberia.
I guess so. I'm never going to find out.
No.
I won't be vacationing there. I won't be visiting there. I won't go there.
No.
That and Grozny. Those are the two places on my list, and they're just last on the list.
Okay. Agreed. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then obviously the DQ, but yeah.
And in the Marab fight, he broke his I don't know if it was the right hand or the left hand. I forget, but he was completely ineffectual because he could only throw one hand, and he's a boxer.
Yeah. Crap, I might be singing Zombie. That's not good. 23 likes, that's not good. All right.
Marlboro Reds MMA. By the way, shout out Marlboro Reds. That's my favorite cigarette from back in the day, Brady.
There you go.
That's a man's cigarette, you know?
Yeah.
Back when men were men, back in the 80s and the 90s, you know, when you smoked because it was the right thing to do, Marlboro Red was the cigarette that the greatest men in the world were smoking, in my opinion.
There we go. Shout out to Marlboro Red. All right. Let's move on to the next award. It is going to be the most coked up rant of 2025. Wheezy, I'm going to kick this one to you. Let's introduce our 4 nominees for the most coked up rant of 2025.
Yeah, we got some of the greatest coked up rants that happened from MMA fighters happened in the year 2025. So like, you probably wouldn't have even made this award in 2020, you know, because there wouldn't have been much to choose from. But I mean, Conor McGregor has absolutely taken it to a new level. I've known some cokeheads in my day, Brady. Yeah. I've known more than a few. I worked on the floor of the Board of Trade in Chicago. I worked on the floor of the Chicago Stock Exchange in Chicago. I know cokeheads. I know coke rants. I've seen and actually been part of some of the best that I've ever seen. But let me tell you something. Conor McGregor, just like he was one of the best mixed martial artists that ever walked the face of the planet, when you're great at something, Brady, you can be great at anything.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. You want coked up rants and you want great ones, you go and watch Conor McGregor on YouTube. Stand your base. When he talked about Ilya Topuro, when he was talking to Jake Paul, when he was talking to dude, this guy has had some of the best off-the-cuff moments. There was one time where he was in Roadhouse and he was talking about how Jake Gyllenhaal was mentoring him as an actor. And I mean, he was breathing so heavily, he couldn't even get the words out. So
I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, it was great. You can always tell if somebody's chewing on an invisible piece of gum, there's a really good chance that they're on amphetamines, and really good ones. And Conor McGregor has been on some of the best. If you guys Google Ilya Topuro, Conor McGregor, Ilya Topuro, one of the finest coke rants ever. He goes pop, 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 and then he talks about he's going to grab him by the scruff of the chest and then slap the nose off him. He called him a little tickle. I don't even know what a little tickle is.
Oh, gosh.
What's a little tickle? I mean, like Ilya Top. And I've been calling him Topuro now for a while, and I think it might be something that kind of bleeds into 2026 for me, and it's not intentional, but I'll tell you something right now. Conor McGregor, he could have been the president of Ireland. He could have been the best fighter in the world, and he has given us some of the best coked up rants of the year 2025. So, I mean, I think that I got a feeling Conor is winning this award.
We have 4 great nominees. Let's see what the chat thinks. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yeah. And I'm with you. You could tell this guy is so coked up out of his mind. Some of these interviews I've been seeing him too. I had a buddy break down a door face first after playing in the snow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'll happen, man. That'll happen. With him in Roadhouse, he was acting so weird throughout the whole movie. Was so great. He's probably coked up.
Yeah, like so many great American actors, he was probably coked up.
no matter the sentence, always add shadow boxing and dodging. That's another telltale sign. What did you have for dinner last night? Well, I had steak and eggs, and yeah.
You see that clip where he was giving boxing advice to Mike Tyson? Did you see that?
I didn't see that. That's crazy,
yeah, dude. He was telling Tyson how he knocked out people. He's like, Mike, here's how you did it. And then he's like, it's great stuff, man. Connor's a national treasure. I can't believe he's not going to be president of Ireland. I was going to move there.
Fair enough. Oh, and Connor said we maybe rise above the night sky and rain down blows on all our deniers at the bare to knuckle press conference. He's only good shit. Oh gosh. All right. But there can only be one winner. And the most coked up rant of 2025 goes to none other than Connor.
I knew it. Dude, I knew it. I knew
Here we
it.
have it.
He's the man. He is the man. BKFC, future president of Ireland. It's all going to happen.
Stand up. Stand up. Let's go.
And we're all moving to Ireland. Me, you, my entire family, your entire family, we're moving there. But not a second before Conor McGregor becomes president.
I'm down.
I don't see how that could possibly go badly.
I'm down. Well, I'm part Irish, so I actually might.
There you go.
Be a good president. Absolutely.
And I'm part Greek, and the Greeks gave gifts to the entire world. So I could move anywhere in the world. They'd be like, oh, you're Greek. You're the man. So like, I could go anywhere. I mean, and Ireland would be beautiful.
I'm down. All right, let's do it. All right, let's keep moving on. A couple more awards to give out. Up next, we have the Wiki Feat of the Year. Who has the best feet? We talked a lot about Wiki Feet on the show. We can see their stars, their ratings down below. Weezy, what are the 4 nominees for the Wiki Feat of the Year?
Now, I want to stress something here, Brady. We've got the stars ratings. It's not about that. This is Stat Diggers. We get to choose.
It's true.
So, like, just because you think Aaron Blanchfield has better feet than Alexa Grasso, but Alexa Grasso's got a better rating than Aaron Blanchfield, that shouldn't matter to you guys. Yeah. You guys get to choose who has the best feet. So we've got Aaron Blanchfield. Not only is she a phenomenal fighter and potentially a future champion of the women's flyweight division, she has a 4.83 rating on Wiki Feet, which is phenomenal, right? Then you got Alexa Grasso. If it weren't for Valentina Shevchenko and Natalia Silva, she's probably still the flyweight champion of the world. And not only does she have that kind of accolades to go with that, she's got a 4.89 Wiki Feet rating, which is, I mean, that's through the stratosphere. So Alexa Grasso getting a lot of respect from the Wiki Feet audience here. Macy Barber, let me tell you something, Brady. When you have a 4.87 Wiki Feet rating and you've also had a bunionectomy, okay? This is comeback feat of the year here in Macy Barber because she's had some medical problems. She's had a long way off. She's had a bunionectomy. And despite all of those obstacles being in her way, look at that 4.87 Wiki Feet rating. I'm telling you something. You don't want to leave Macy Barber behind, when you're figuring out who gets this award, because to overcome that kind of adversity and still have that kind of a rating there, you don't want to pass that up. And then there's Amanda Hebas. No. She's been knocked out a lot. She's had some rough outings, but her personality is unmatched. She's got one of the greatest smiles and one of the most infectious abilities to kind of capture the love of the MMA community, and it's reflected in that Wiki Feet rating of 4.89, Brady. So we got 4 spectacular ladies here.
Yep.
4. And it's going to be a very difficult decision for our audience today.
It is. It's very difficult. No, I'm not a feet guy, to be honest, but
neither am I, but it matters.
It does. We always say that the better rating typically wins the fight. So
it does.
20 more likes, boys. Let's go. Boy, there we go. Chris Cyborg, Werner Janaroba, Jessica Andrade. No, I mean, they all have horrible feet ratings. I mean, on look up on Andrade's feet. It's they have terrible ratings.
Yeah,
like horrible. I didn't look up Cyborg though. That's wild. This should be Who's Wife Material Award. I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know. That's a tough question.
It is a tough question. You know what I mean? I guess that's why these are all such really good nominees.
Because Barber seems a little bit off the rails, but I kind of like that. Heba.
I mean, if you're bringing Hebas to parties, right?
Yeah.
They're all saying, like, how did you land her? She's just, she's fantastic. She's got great charisma, Grasso, she's got that femininity. She's got that confidence. Blanchfield. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about Aaron Blanchfield. Yeah, this is a tough one.
It's a tough one, but there can only be one winner, and the winner is feet of the year is Alexa Grasso. I don't know if that's a real picture. I don't think it's a real picture, but if it is, it's hilarious. That can't be a real picture.
I mean, how could you not give her the award with that picture? Like,
oh God. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next award, and it is the Rookie of the Year. We had a lot of Rookie of the Year potential from a couple of these guys. Got even a couple that honorable mentions we could talk about. But Weezy, what are the 4 nominees for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, we got 4 great young fighters with really bright futures here. Number 1, Malcolm Wellmaker. He is coming off a loss, but me and you kind of agree on this, Brady, that when you make a fight on 48 hours notice, it's not fair for either guy, and it throws a bunch of variance into the equation. And Malcolm had a much different opponent lined up than what he got in Ethan Ewing. And, he learned a lesson of the MMA business, and that's you're not always going to fight who you think you're going to fight. And that, sometimes you plan 6 weeks for a game plan for a particular opponent, and then they tell you on Wednesday or Thursday before the fight, you're going to be fighting somebody else. But Malcolm Wellmaker's clearly got personality. He's clearly very likable. He's got a lot of charisma. And when you watch this guy on the feet, he landed a shot on Ewing in the first round that I think might have knocked out half the division.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he lands that right hook on you, it's pretty much nighty-night. Keep your butthole tight. And I don't think that's going to change. So I think Malcolm has got a very bright future in this division. Kevin Vallejos, coming off of Dana White's Contender Series, losing to Gene Silva, but then coming back and showing that, a guy like that might be able to beat him and win 29-28 against him, but that this kid at only 24, 25 years of age right now has got a very bright future. Ateba Gautier has just, I don't think he's a very good fighter yet, but, you can't teach what this guy has, and that's just like perfect athleticism, the perfect body for this type of weight class, and one-touch knockout power that can hide a lot of deficiencies in your game. And then there's Quillen Salkild, one of the best mustaches in the game, a really good grappling game. And then when you worry too much about the grappling, he comes out there and he lands the kind of knockout that leads you to believe he might be one of the best strikers in the division. So we got 4 phenomenal prospects here where the arrow is pointing straight up. And both of these guys, all 4 of these guys are very young in their careers, and they're going to be getting better as they go on. So 4 phenomenal choices here for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think if Wellmaker would have went out there and beat Ewing, it would have been pretty unanimous. Because up until then, he's just sparking. What he did to Cameron Simon was nasty. Yeah. He knocked out a very durable Chris Moutinho, who's on a kind of a run on the regional scene, and then kind of spoiled with the Ewing performance. So Gautier, yeah, I think he's 3-0 this year, all 3 knockouts, but pretty bad competition. And they actually gave him Andre Poliev. They were going to see Ateba Gautier versus Andre Poliev in UFC 324. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, it's not this 320, or I think it's 325. I think it'll be the second card of the year, but
that's a sanctioned murder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough night.
And then Vallejos
for Gautier.
Yeah, I mean, Poliev is horrible. And Vallejos, I think, is either 2-0 or 3-0. And then Salkild, I know it for sure is 3-0. Justin liking Vallejos. Salkild personally. Quillen 100%. Next upcoming Aussie champ. We got 4-ounce sniper liking Kevin Vallejos as well. It's a table or Vallejos. I think Vallejos doesn't have it. Physical gifts. It's all skill. We are going to see if Wellmaker's arc is better than Michelle Pereira, who lost a weird early career decision loss. I think Wellmaker will bounce back. Maybe he underestimated Ewing, or maybe the odds makers underestimated Ewing. I got Gautier here. This dude is going to is going to beast mode the division. Vallejos' opinion, easy. Level of competition isn't comparable. Vallejos had the best win. Chikadze? Giga?
Chikadze is a good win, but I mean, Nasrat Haqparast is at least as good of a win as Vallejos' win over a washed Giga Chikadze. I'm not washed, but
yeah,
I mean, the guy's
on his way out.
He's telling John Anik to promote his gym as he's walking out to the octagon. I think Giga's kind of done. So that win for Salkild against Haqparast is at least as good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, so 4 great options. I think all 4 of these guys have a very bright future. I could see, all 4 of these guys having a lot of success down the road. But the winner for Rookie of the Year, and there he is lighting up that cigarette, it's Quillen Salkild. Congratulations, Quillen Salkild, on Rookie of the Year.
Oh, dude, yeah. And I mean, like, Salkild had an amazing rookie year, but W is saying it in there. Dude, David Martinez beating Rob Font was nuts. What a performance by that young man. So, like, David Martinez is somebody who's been in the gi since the age of 3, probably. Really great karate, really phenomenal striking, solid takedown defense. For him to get that win against Rob Font, in my opinion, was really, really eye-opening. But, my God, this guy, Quillen Salkild, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for this young man.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to seeing what's next for all 4 of these guys. Yeah, I mean, I thought he killed Haqparast. I whenever that happened, I sent the clip to my buddies in our group chat, and I was like, "We just witnessed the first death in UFC history," and he was like, "Did he really die?" And I was like, "Did you watch the clip?" Yeah, of course he died. Didn't Delgado lose to Wood?
He lost to Wood. I think a lot of people thought that Delgado won that fight, but I mean, like, he got matched up against a veteran that's good everywhere, and he went 50-50 with that dude. And I'm pretty sure that fight was in Abu Dhabi, right?
Probably, I think.
I feel like it was. I feel like it was in the Middle East. So whenever you're an American and you're going out there and you perform pretty well, I think I put a little more faith in that than a really good performance in Vegas, sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It was always going to be Quillen, my GOAT, my redeemer. No Aussie bias here. I like it. We got Aussie. Yes. All right.
Oi.
All right. Let's keep moving on. Up next, we have the worst haircut of the year. Which one of these fighters had the worst haircut of 2025? Wheezy, what are the 4 nominees for this one? Great award here.
Yeah, so we've got Charles Johnson with the skullet. It's something he's been rocking for years. It's something he advertises as part of his brand. It's not a great haircut, but it's a bad haircut on a phenomenal fighter. Marcin Tybura, I don't know what happened there. I don't want to blame it on him being Polish, I don't want to blame it on him being a heavyweight and having maybe taken out too many knockouts, from really big, strong men. But whatever happened there, it was clearly a mistake, and it was clearly something that went wrong. It went off the rails. And maybe, like, the thing is about being a barber, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you make a mistake, you can't just make the hair grow back, right? You kind of have to, every once in a while, somebody might bump into you, and then all of a sudden, you take off a chunk of hair, and it's like, all right, now we got to make the best of a bad situation. I'm wondering if that's what happened with Tybura there. And with Arena Alexeva, this is not a one-time thing, Brady. It's not just like she came out with a shitty perm one day, right? We also saw her coming out looking like Brigitte Nielsen in Rocky 4 and doing some kind of a dance routine with the fucking Brigitte Nielsen and Rocky 4 haircut. And it's like, Arena, what are you doing? You know, there's bad choices in the octagon. There's bad choices in the barber chair. I think Arena Alexeva has had some of the worst haircuts that we've ever seen. And like a perm, that's like, you can't just make that mistake. That's a voluntary choice. You sat in a chair. Somebody put chemicals in your hair and you let them do it, you know? So like, not only did she have that, she had the Brigitte Nielsen haircut too. So I'm worried about Arena. Very worried. And then a rat tail.
Oh, God.
You know, Danny Barlow's a tremendous athlete. The guy's a gifted athlete. But when you're wearing a rat tail in the year 2025, Brady, it's not just good enough to say I'm from Memphis. You know, because people from Memphis are going to make bad fucking decisions. Have you ever been to Memphis?
No, I don't want to go there.
I have. I've been to Memphis. I went to Memphis in college once to go see a Grateful Dead show, Brady, and that's a whole nother story in itself. You know, and we had a great time, and those were, you know, but Memphis is not a beautiful place. It's not. And, you know, maybe like you wear a rat tail around Memphis and people aren't going to say things because you look around and it's not a beautiful city to begin with. You know, so if you see a rat tail, it's not something that's going to necessarily stick out as being unordinary. But, you know, where we're from, people aren't walking around with that kind of a haircut. So I'm worried about all these people. I'm worried about Tabura's barber. I'm worried about Arena Alexeva's decisions, not just in the cage, but in the barber chair. A rat tail is a horrible decision. And Charles Johnson is just an extremely gifted athlete and gifted fighter who's showing knockout power now, by the way. 2 knockouts. You know, not just one. It was the Josh Van one that I was saying was a fluke. But I don't think it's a fluke anymore, man, because he did it again. But he keeps going to the fucking skullet. Why? He's a good-looking dude. Why? So I don't know, man. I mean, they're bad haircuts. There's 4 bad haircuts, and there's some really good fighters here, too. Tabura is a really good fighter. Charles Johnson is the best fighter on this screen. But these are some bad haircuts, Brady. We got to figure it out.
Horrible. And Brian Gallagher just missed the list. He didn't fight in 2025.
Yeah.
But he did show up in 2024 with one of the worst haircuts I think I've ever seen. Like, he should have went to prison for a haircut like that, Kelleher.
People have been locked up for less, Brady.
Absolutely.
I promise you.
16 likes away. Smash that like button. There we go. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get 100. We'll see. Marcin lost a 10-8 to a Razor. Yeah, that's bad. That's just a 10-7. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, I can't believe I get it. Looks like it's a fake picture. It's not edited. That's an actual photo. Oh, Irina Alexeva's hair looks like it's never been washed before. Where is Priscilla? Yeah, Priscilla I like Priscilla's haircut. I think she had a good haircut, actually.
It reminds me of Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon. I mean, like, there's some similarities there. So, yeah.
This is the worst haircut. That's one of the best haircuts, Priscilla.
Yeah.
She's rocking the dirty poodle with pride. Irina by a mile. They don't like the perm.
But it's not just one. It's like Charles Johnson has had one bad decision, and it was the skullet, and he's maintained that decision for many different fights. Alexeva's had the perm. She's had the Brigitte Nielsen and Rocky 4. She's done the dancing. She got a tattoo that said "Love Me" on her chest.
Oh gosh!
So like, there's been. I'm worried about Arena, Brady. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very worried about her.
You should have the worst tattoo. Love me. Oh,
love me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Irina. I don't know what happened.
She had great hair.
Yeah, I know.
You look at the Tapology picture, and it's good hair.
It's good. I agree.
They called her Russian Ronda not because she got great arm bars, but because they said that she looked like Ronda Rousey. That's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having judo like Ronda Rousey, that's a compliment. Telling somebody that you look like Ronda Rousey, also a compliment.
Exactly. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, man.
I can't come up with a compliment on that hair, though.
I can't. All 4 nominees should fight their barber, especially Danny. Cut that. Yeah, cut that off, man. Cut it off,
Danny Barlow.
I won't tell him to cut it off to his face, though. That's for sure.
Well, me and you both, but I will say it here in the comfort of my own office in Chicago, Illinois, that this man in Memphis should cut off that rat tail. I think it's better.
I agree with this. I bet Irene is always DTF. Yeah, absolutely. I'm late, but at least I made it for the annual TJ Brown Award. The TJ, I don't even know what that would be. What is the TJ Brown Award, like? Gassing out and getting finished, or
it's the worst. It's the combination of having bad fight IQ and bad IQ in the barber's chair. That's what TJ Brown really brought.
Oh.
You know, he would grapple grapplers, he'd box boxers, and he would come up with some haircuts that were just absolutely horrible.
Oh, she is so cringe. Straight up false advertising. Yeah, it's bad. All right, but there can only be one winner, and this is a tough choice. But my goodness, it's got to be Marcin Tybura. I mean, there's a name for what Irina has. It's a perm. There's a name for what Charles Johnson has. It's a skullet. Yeah. There's a name for the style of Danny. It's a rat tail. What is that? Are there any barbers? My mom's up. I should have asked my mom. What is that called?
Dude, you know what that there is actually a name for that. It's called the Polish tragedy. That's what that haircut is actually called. It's called the Polish tragedy. And there have been tragedies in Poland, you know? I mean, like over the years, Brady, there's been a lot of wars and Poland got caught in the middle of a lot of them. There have been tragedies in Poland, but it's when you call that haircut the Polish tragedy, you know, it says something, my friends.
Yeah, it's the Polish tragedy.
It is.
Great hair, terrible fight IQ. Now Irina looks like a Gen Alpha kid with a broccoli. Yeah, like I was saying, like when my brother was in high school, like all of his friends had that perm. It's like weird, like I guess that's the new thing. Like these high school dudes having like perms.
Well, fashion is cyclical, Brady. I remember when Mike Ditka got the coaching job in Chicago for the Chicago Bears, becoming one of the greatest NFL coaches ever. He had a perm. His rookie year as a coach, he had a perm. And I remember my dad saying to my mom, Michael, my name's Michael. My parents actually didn't name me Uncle Wheezy. My name is Michael. And my dad said to my mom, Michael would look great with that perm that Ditka has. Oh. And my mom said, no, he wouldn't. And I'll divorce you if you ever try to put that perm on him. And like, there was actually an argument. My dad wanted to get me the Ditka perm when it happened back in 1983, 1984 season. And they went on to win the Super Bowl the very next year. But Ditka did not have the perm then. He went with the straight flowed back look, right, when they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, man, like people make bad decisions. And sometimes the bad decisions come at a good time and it might look like a good idea. This is never a good idea. And the Polish tragedy is a haircut that nobody should ever, ever try to emulate.
Yeah, don't. It's just terrible. Bro said shave 30% got a 30% off haircut. It's called the beret.
30% of your hair.
Oh God, it's if there's any ladies in the chat, would you fuck this man? Any ladies in the chat, would you fuck this guy? Any men? I mean, any men. It's 2025. Would any men fuck this man right here? Let me know. Maybe we'll do a poll on that. All right. We got a couple more awards. We're getting towards the end here. We have another fan vote here, and it is going to be the worst fight IQ of the year. So we've had a lot of like puzzling performances, puzzling decisions in the cage in the year of 2025. You know, performances where you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But I think these four really stuck out, Wheezy. So go ahead and announce the four nominees for the worst fight IQ of the year award, and we will put up the poll for the chat to decide.
Yeah, so you got the winner of the award in Melissa Mullins with the worst fight IQ ever. I mean, this is just it's Corey McKenna versus Elise Reed Part 2. Just you've fought this woman before. She pieced you up on the feet, and you decide to stand with her, and then even have the audacity to shoot a takedown with 5 seconds left in round 2 after absolutely losing that round. So Melissa Mullins with the worst fight IQ of the year. Rinya Nakamura is a wrestler, and he went out there against Muin Gafarov and refused to wrestle and lost that fight. You got Ryan Loder, who's a wrestler, and went out there and decided to try out his striking that he learned in Thailand prior to that fight against Ismail Nardiev. Not only did it not work out for him, Brady, but he got knocked out by a pillow fist welterweight in the middleweight division. So that, poor choice by Ryan Loder, but another guy that flew all the way from the States to Qatar to fight, and it didn't go well for him. And then there's Nick Klein, who figures that he was going to go into a 15-minute fight with 15 seconds of cardio and absolutely just blow out his gas tank in 90 seconds and lose to Andre Pulayev. So, I mean, there's some bad fight IQ here. And I mean, we could probably stack up about 12 nominees on this one. But, I mean, like, there's been some really bad choices here. Wrestlers deciding that they're strikers in Nakamura and Loder. Poor cardio guys going balls out and gassing out in 30 seconds. And then Melissa Mullins. We haven't had a lot of female nominees here today other than Arina Alexeva with worst haircut, but Melissa Mullins versus Daria Železniakova is a absolute masterclass in, throwing away a fight by fighting your opponent's distinctive competencies.
Yeah, it's like Melissa Mullins, you literally fought her before and you finished her in the first round by taking her down and pounding her face in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide, it was just a frustrating fight because at the end of the first round, she takes her down and almost finishes her with 15 seconds left. It's like, why not do that earlier in the round? I mean, Zelenakova has no ground game. Then the second round, she doesn't shoot a takedown until she gets hurt to the body. And then she's like, oh, now I'll shoot a takedown. She gets it easily, and she ends the round on top. It's like, what are you doing, Melissa Mullins? Just puzzling fight again. Yeah, Ryan. This is one of the more recent examples. Ryan Loder goes to Thailand. And I don't know what's up at some of these guys go to Thailand and all of a sudden they turn into a striker. It's like, what are you doing, Ryan Loder? You were a wrestler. Remember watching that fight and the announcers were like, yeah, he's going to Thailand. He's looking forward to testing his striking. What do you mean? What do you mean he's going to test this? I knew right then and there, he's getting finished. So that was bad. Nakamura, it looked like he threw the fight. Like, this guy's a very high level wrestler. He didn't even try to wrestle. And then Nick Klein, he looked good for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. But you need more than 2 minutes of cardio, Nick Klein. So I think all four of these guys, 3 guys and 1 lady, definitely showed some bad fight IQ. But we'll let the chat decide. Go ahead and get your votes in. We'll get through these comments and we'll see who's the winner for the worst fight IQ of the year. Ryan Loder decided to test out his new striking with Ismail Nardiev. Priceless. Yeah, that was bad. Dumas for fight IQ. Yeah, I guess we could throw Dumas on here. We could just throw worst IQ. Dumas to be the winner. Cesar Kaiva has terrible fight IQ and he's undefeated. Yep, that's another good one. Ryan Loder testing out his Canelo hand. We should put Bilal Muhammad on here versus Jack Della, testing out his Canelo hands. Cesar Kaiva is a fraud waiting to be checked 100%. Confused on where these guys' corners were doing. Yeah, I'm confused too. They call it Bangkok ready. Look it up. Eddie Bravo describing it. Okay, I'll have to look it up after the show. All right. So we got the votes in, and yeah, we can end the poll because it's really not even close. In fourth place, believe it or not, Nick Klein, 6%. In third place, Rinya Nakamura, 22%. It's actually a two-way tie for second. Melissa Mullins, 22% as well, so two-way tie for second. In first place with half the votes, 50%.
Wow.
Ryan Loder, worst fight IQ of the year. Went to Bangkok, hung out with those lady boys, and turned into a striker, Weezy.
I lost money on the Mullins fight. I lost money on the Loader fight. And I don't remember if I had money on Klein against Pelayev, but I don't think I did. But yeah, I just remember thinking that Melissa Mullins was the worst fight IQ I saw since the Corey McKenna fight when she fought Elise Reed. I mean, it was just unbelievable. But at least Corey McKenna could say, well, I never fought Elise Reed before.
Yeah.
For Melissa Mullins, I mean, when you watch that fight, Zheleznyakova was absolutely piecing her up on the feet. And she didn't have any success until she took her down. And she didn't wrestle, in the fight. So it was just, I mean, unbelievable. I think that's how you throw a fight. That's the best way to throw a fight, is just to go out there and fight in a way where you have no chance to win, but you're still fighting. Because the funny thing was, that fight was actually kind of close. It wasn't like Mullins was that much worse of a striker than Zheleznyakova, but she just refused to fight in a way where she was going to be better than Zheleznyakova. So it looked like she threw that fight to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she either threw the fight or she's very stupid. I think Rinya might have thrown the fight. It just made no sense not to wrestle there. Like, that's literally your base.
Yeah, I mean, you can find so many situations like that where you're like, why would the fighter fight like that unless they were trying to lose?
Yeah.
And usually it happens when somebody's a big favorite, like Nakamura was, like Mullins was, like McKenna was. Loader was an underdog.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think that he was, I just think that he was probably in Thailand and he thought his striking was going to get better.
Yeah. Brady, even though we didn't make it to 100 likes, the whole point is to get your likes up. For that reason, we succeeded. I mean, we still have time. We have 2 more awards to give out. We are about 14 likes away. If we get to 100, I'll sing Zombie. All right. Let's see here. So I got one more award on here, but since the Gorilla had a very generous dono, he wanted to do the most handsome female fighter, so I will do that.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm going to do a poll for the chat here. Let's see. So who is the most handsome fighter of 2025? And this was one of, I actually was going to do this award, but it was one that unfortunately didn't make the cut. Some awards just didn't make the cut this year, but let's see. So he has Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira. Jessica Andrade, Verna Jandaroba. Let's do another UFC fighter instead of Cyborg. Who's another handsome UFC fighter? Got Lemos, Denise Gomes. Got a couple.
Yeah, Denise Gomes is extremely handsome. Lemos has got a great haircut. I was gonna look at my women's fighters database, but I don't have it up in front of me.
We'll do
Josiane Nunez is another one.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Matumbo Jeremias.
That's a great one. We'll put Nunez. I like that one a lot. All right.
Yeah.
Who's the most handsome fighter of 2025? All right, get those votes in. And this is the sponsored by F. Carrillo. Sponsored by F. Carrillo.
Yes.
Most handsome female fighter of the year. No, it's between male and female.
Yeah, it is. Just we happen to choose a lot of females there.
Yeah. Gabby Garcia, okay. Best way to throw a fight is to have your coach carry you to your locker and say you were injured after selling your round 1 finish lost. Let's just not throw fights. Let's just not do it. Oh, yeah. So it was funny. After the fight, Rennie did an interview and he was talking about how he likes to gamble. He's like, I like to gamble. I was like, really? Do you? Okay.
Oh, he does. He's Asian. They all love to gamble, Brady.
I
they
bet he
love
does.
To smoke and they love to gamble.
He definitely seemed to have gambled on Moin Gafrov at plus 600. Shout out to Josie Nunez. Didn't you get marked by the zombie girl earlier this year?
She sure did.
But
that can happen, man. Cachoeira.
Yeah.
Those were 2 handsome fighters going at it, and one of them had to lose, Brady.
Yeah. Russian Ronda's another handsome one. It was always Verna. Congratulations, Wong is very handsome. Kayla Hare, I don't really think Kayla's that handsome, to be honest, but...
No, Armin Sarukian said he'd do her. So I don't think we want to put her on that list.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jizzing managed to look handsome without tats. That's hard to do. That's fair.
It is.
And Kong Wong is handsome, especially when she puts on that Joker paint.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. So let's do. Let's see who wins this award. Let's go. All right, let's end the poll. It's not even close. It's not even
Got to
close.
be Virna, right?
Let's take a look. 4th place, believe it or not, Josie Nunez with 5%.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
The
Poor Joe
disrespect,
Benavidez. He's gonna have to explain that to his wife,
right? Priscilla Ketchaware, 15%. Jessica Andrade, 20%, and then the winner by far and away is Verna Jandaroba.
Yeah.
At 60%.
I can see clearly now.
Hey.
The rain is gone.
Yes. Congratulations, Verna Jandaroba. Shout out to Verna.
She did it, man. She's the best. I mean, I'm a big fan of Virna. Very close fight against Mackenzie Dern, too. Very close fight. She got some takedowns. She got some top time. She could be champion right now. So great performances in the cage, great performances outside of it. Way to go, Virna Jandaroba.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, Weezy, we are 2 hours and 20 minutes into the show. So what do you say we do the last award of the Stat Diggers 2025 award show?
Let's do it, man. Let's cap off 2025 with a bang, Brady.
And let's end it with a bang. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts on it in the chat. We'll put a poll up, but we need to see who needs to get some help. Out of 20, there was a lot of fighters this year that we'd come on week after week, Weezy, and we'd say who needs to get some help. And sometimes we'd have to make like 2 or 3 polls. We had to do like 4 to 8, maybe sometimes 12 fighters that needed help on a certain card. So we had to kind of narrow it down to only 4 fighters. Who are those 4 fighters for who needs to potentially get some help?
Well, number one, it's Isaac Dulgarian because he needs legal help, Brady. I mean, you remember when Krause and Molina got hurt? We didn't hear a word out of either of their mouths for like 3 years until the federal, investigation had stopped. So we're not going to hear anything from Isaac Dulgarian. And if you know him, he needs a lawyer right now. And he needs a very good lawyer because there's probably going to be some kind of federal charges coming down. And he's probably going to wind up doing some time potentially. Now, Jason Herzog is a guy that Harry Mack said was going to do time. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because he was saying that like the FBI had flagged a bunch of his fights.
Yeah.
And Herzog got a little bit sensitive about that when what Harry had said was that Herzog wasn't directly being investigated, but that his fights were being investigated for irregular betting patterns, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Jason Herzog. But Herzog, there's an old saying, that says something to the effect of, like, if you feel like you might have done wrong and then somebody accuses you of it, you might wind up telling everybody that you did wrong. And him being accused of that and then reacting in the way that he did might indicate that Jason, I don't know, he's been a horrible ref this year. Let's just face it. I mean, like some of these fights that he's been involved in, Lewis versus Teixeira, Yaya versus, Win. There's been a lot of fights where it was like, boy, Jason had a rough performance there. Kevin Holland. I mean, Kevin Holland needs help. He always has needed help. The guy just doesn't seem to care. He'll show up to fight whoever on whatever day. You remember when wasn't he going to fight Jake Matthews or something like that? And he thought that he was fighting another Jake.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, oh shit, I'm not fighting that guy. I'm fighting like only Kevin Holland could do that, And then there's Michelle Pereira. He needs help learning how to dance. This guy was a dance instructor in Japan. Did you know that?
That's terrible.
Because he fought all over the world. And like when he was fighting in Japan, what he would do in Japan in order to make ends meet when he wasn't fighting was he was a dance instructor. And if you saw that walkout in the Abu Smagomedov fight, there might not be anybody in Japan that can dance anymore. He might have absolutely like crippled that entire country's, ability to dance, because I mean, not only can he not dance, he can't even try anymore. He can't even be bothered. Fluffy Hernandez stole his soul, and ever since then, it seems like he's been throwing fights for money. So there's some guys that need to get the help on this page, and frankly, all four of them are phenomenal nominees.
It's tough, and it's kind of telling with the the chat and the votes, because it's all very close. Right now, there's a 3-way tie for second.
There you go.
Like there's a 3-way tie for second at 24%. So we'll let the votes roll in, see what you guys think. But we got the only Godfather in the building. What is up? Rodriguez Duplessis get some help. I hope he got help. He'll be all right. GM3 potentially needs some help as well. I mean, it's kind of getting tough to watch. But we got Isaac Dalgarian. He said he's good, no charges, and he's getting signed again. Keep hating though. Okay, we'll see. We'll see, Isaac.
You're never getting signed again to what?
I don't know.
You're going to be signing papers to let the judges do cavity searches on your ass. That's
Oh, I'd vote Dalgarian, but he's already dead, so it's Herzog. How is Dalgarian not in jail? It's a long process. Like I don't know. Losing your fighting career is enough punishment. You got boats and hoes. Shout out to Michelle Pereira. Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. Mikey P loves them boats and hoes. Yes. Anthony Smith. Yeah. Get some help. Anthony Smith. I'm still so hot about Kevin Holland. All I see is D-Rod looking so surprised when he was rocking him like it was WWE. It looked like a WWE match, that fight. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. Dalgarian, Herzog, and Pereira need zero help. They're all on yachts living their best lives. That's true. It's Kevin Holland potentially. Dalgarian will be a WWE star. Pereira celebrates his losses straight to the bank. He's my vote. I guess we could put King Green's another guy that celebrates his losses all to the bank. Remember when he threw the fight against Patty and jumped into a submission?
Yeah, and then he showed up to the next fight with a big wad of cash.
Big wad of cash.
Yeah, like you said, that one gif or the dude like with the big stack of cash and he's like talking into a phone. That was Bobby Green.
Yeah.
All
right, 2 more seconds. There's a tie for first place right now.
Okay.
So,
wow. The people need help, Brady.
Let's see.
This should be a segment that's like absolutely sponsored by somebody that helps people.
Better help.
2026.
Yeah. Exactly. Better help. We got to hit them up. All right. So here are the votes. In fourth place, believe it or not, Jason Herzog, 12%.
Wow.
Had a rough year.
Okay.
Third place, believe it or not, a guy that he didn't get caught for throwing the fight, but he threw the fight against Abus. And then he threw the fight against Kyle Dawkins. Michelle Pereira at 21%. We've got a very close vote for first and second place. In second place, Kevin Holland at 33%. And in first place at 34% is none other than Isaac Dalgarian. Congratulations, Isaac Dalgarian. You need to get some help.
I got to tell you, man, I lost a lot of units on that fight, but it was also my most viewed tweet of all time.
There you go.
When I put "Here we go again," when I saw the first round prop go from plus 900 on Del Valle to plus 300, and I thought, oh my God, we're gonna get another Derek Minner situation. And this guy used to be coached by James Krause, and it happened again. I remember that tweet, like my average tweet gets about 1,000 views. That tweet got 500,000 views.
There you go.
I mean, it was just amazing. We don't see it too often, Brady, because it doesn't happen that often. Like when the commission fixes a fight, it's easy to say like, oh, well, it wasn't necessarily fixed. But what Derek Minner did, what Dalgarian did, we know what happened there. Because because those bad performances were preceded by massive market moves that indicated that something was going on there. So Isaac Dalgarian's going to need a good lawyer.
Get some help.
He's going to need to get some help.
Get some help, Isaac Dalgarian. And there we have it. The first ever 2025 award show. We went over a lot. The Pipe of the Year, Unk of the Year, Wiki Feed of the Year, Poor Fight of the Year, Milk of the Year, Upstanding Citizen of the Year, Swing Your Dick Fight of the Year. Who needs to get some help? and much more. Wheezy, it was a fun show tonight. Any final thoughts on all these winners? I just want to congratulate them one last time.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had some great performances this year, and I think we highlighted all of them. The good ones, the bad ones, the funny ones, and it was a great 2025. I'm looking forward to 2026, another great year of Stat Diggers, another great year of you and I doing our respective content here in the MMA space. We got some great contemporaries here. We got some other people that are doing phenomenal content, and we're amongst those people. So I'm glad to be part of this community. Glad to be part of you guys here talking about these fights. And we had fun here in 2025, and I'm looking forward to doing it again in 2026, Brady.
Heck yeah. Thanks for coming on, Wheezy. And thank you, everybody in the chat that showed up. If you guys are watching on the replay, appreciate you guys as well. Have a happy New Year's. Unfortunately for us, we got to 88 likes. We were 12 away, but I got some good news. I will be singing In the Arms of an Angel by Sarah McClellan on the first card back of 2026. You'll be hearing that early on in 2026. So there you guys have it. Thank you guys for watching the first ever Stat Diggers Award Show. We'll be back. We'll be back soon. Best of luck, guys, and we will talk to you. So you know what? I'll play us out. Let's see. I think I have something. I'll play us out here.
All right.
Let's see. StreamYard did an update. Let's see. Okay, I'll play us out. Here we go. Another head hangs slowly. Child is slowly taken. And the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. Here we go. It's for Priscilla. In your head, zombie, 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 what's in your head? In your head, zombie, 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 oh.